NCRP Productions presents Torg Eternity by Ulisses Spiele. The Breifne Crown, Episode 32.
Welcome everyone to a Sunday of Possibilities. My name is Greg and I will be the GM for our Torg adventure and the Breifne Crown campaign. Let's go ahead and introduce our players and their respective characters, starting to my left.
This is Dan. I am playing Professor Graves. He is a practitioner of the weird sciences from the Nile Empire.
Hey, it's Barry. I am running Maxwell Garrett Elite, a freedom fighter from Tharkold.
Hello, this is Victoria. I'm playing Iara Bay, the elf necromancer from Isle.
And this is Aaron. I play Ufa Ali, otherwise known as the Twilight Jackal of Cairo.
And Shan is unable to join us this week, so we will move on without her and her character Azrael. But can somebody tell us what happened in our last session, please?
Well, we got on a plane. We were on a long flight, ended up being about a 12-hour flight where we had been manacled in and shackled in. Some information came to light as I maintained my telepathy speaking with our group and meeting an ex-senator, a Richard St. James from the great state of Mississippi. And he seems to be a defeated and dejected man, but he was able to give me a little bit of information. We know that the contagion itself has apparently 3 stages. We don't know if the stages are concurrent or if there are just 3 different outcomes. Stage 1 appears to be a human in a crazed, frenzied mode. We already know from a couple weeks back that it is not a dead person, even though we think of them as zombies. Stage 2 is something called the Zhang-Chi, which is this incredible leaping creature that is becoming less human, seems to be faster and stronger than an average human. And then the third stage is something called a yokai, and some of us know about them and the Zhang-Chi from the Day 1 adventure we played a while ago. But the yokai at this stage, we don't know if anything can stop them. In talking with Richard and asking him about it, he said you can take down the Zhang-Chi, but he never saw the yokai go down under a hail of bullets or anything. So very scary.
Very scary.
It was interesting that Richard knew of the Delphi Council but had no concept about the invading cosms.
Well, out of game, we do kind of know why that's the case. The Delphi Council has been around since the New Mexico incident. My
That's
brain's
right.
not working. Area
Roswell.
51.
Yeah.
Roswell.
That's right.
And so it's something
As a
that
senator.
a higher-up senator, especially on an appropriations committee or something like that, would potentially know about. But he had told me that he was here when things started to go bad and was just trying to get out. We also know that he is the only one of his original campaign crew that came over here that's alive. We noticed that he was used to leading, it appeared to be that way. Everybody else around him was deferring to him, but that it did not appear that he was specifically the leader of those people, or if he was, that they were not his original group, is what we figured. So we landed. We had been warned by Tony that he felt something was wrong. We landed. We were trumped off the plane. We have been controlled the whole way. Once we were off, we met the, I'm assuming, commandant of the entire prison.
Warden Park.
Warden Park, who seems to be speaking to everyone, but really just us. He welcomes us. We know he's possibility rated. He says, basically, enjoy your stay, and then has the rest of the guards kill Tony. Which means we've lost another of the Joliet company. And then someone comes past us in guard uniforms of Kanawa, and we realized it was Lady Nightbird.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
So Barry, this is for you. I always say that if somebody can figure out one of my in-game twists, then definitely reward them, and that is definitely with Senator St. James. Is he, out of character, was the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, so he knew of the Delphi Council.
Okay, wonderful.
It is still interesting, though, for him to have been here for a year, essentially, but not know about the rest of the world's stuff that's going on.
Well, if he's been here, specifically when things went wrong, then potentially there hasn't been information from anywhere else other than weird stuff is happening.
Right, definitely, which is interesting to me. Because everywhere else we've gone, it seems like the people that we have spoken to have a general understanding, at least, that other things are happening outside.
Well, what we know in-game of Pan Pacifica is that they don't know what it is. They don't know what the invading forces are. They know there's something here because things have been changing.
And they're probably more focused on the zombies than everything else.
Additionally, if you look at the Asian world, in some parts of the Asian world, there are controls put on their media, all of their media outlets, their social media outlets, etc. And so, if you're in that area and you're in a space where the government that's there has chosen to change that, it's very possible that where he was in Taiwan, right? Was Taiwan or was it Hong Kong?
Taiwan.
Where he was in Taiwan, that just that information wasn't coming in there.
It's true. That makes sense.
I dealt with that myself today in a ridiculous situation. I have Paramount Plus, and I noticed that there were a few games on. And I was super curious to watch the Bengals versus somebody, that was today's game, and it's blacked out by Paramount, the people I'm paying for my service. And instead I had to watch another game because apparently there is a local channel in my area that was playing the game.
That carries it.
Yeah, which is funny because the local channel is 300 miles away from where I currently live. But again, I mean, it's not just governments, it's corporations, everybody in Kanawha is a corporation. So I understand why he may not know more.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, once Lady Nightbird comes walking in, just this very arrogant posture and just this superior nuance in the way that she walks. Iara, you see that she sees you and is just walking directly to you.
Does she seem surprised to see me, or she's like, she knew I was here?
Roll streetwise or find, whatever's better.
I'm going to go with find. 23.
If she did look surprised, she came out of the shadows and she had time to see you guys.
Okay.
And so now she just has that superior, nobleman's air of arrogance that they have.
Gotcha.
And so yeah.
Okay.
Can't really tell.
Okay.
But as she just kind of comes sauntering up, stands before you, and she's like, "Bastards, I want you to undress. Fold your clothes. Do not dump them. Do not manipulate them," looking directly at you. "Lay them at your feet. Anything other than that will be considered defiance and will be met with lethal force. Do so now."
I'm going to push out with my telepathy to the 4. Professor Graves, if you can do it, try to palm at least one of them when you're taking off your pants. Iara, if you can push her, maybe taunt her in some way, get her eyes off of the professor. I am going to slowly undress. Unless somebody forces me, I'm going to look like I don't want to do this.
You're not the only one that doesn't want to. But you can see that, other people start undressing too. So,
and the telepathic bond is open between us all.
Okay. So, who is not complying?
I'm going to hesitate and not initially comply.
And so, when you do, like you hesitate, Lady Nightbird just kind of takes a long, well-manicured fingernail and smiles gently, and you can just see cruel anticipation on her face, and you can almost see her counting down at her head.
Professor Graves, if you're going to do something, do it now.
And so
I'm trying to show defiance towards her because it's her specifically.
So she kind of like holds up a 1.
Ufa, if there's any chance you can get your mask into your hand, do it.
I'm going to do that as I'm taking it off and leaving the mask in my hand.
The professor's also, he's going to try to palm one of the splinters into his hand while she's paying attention to Iara.
And I'm keeping eye contact with her.
And so 3, 4, 5. And about then you feel, or actually more hear and feel somebody come up behind you. Pack! Just cracks you in the back of the head with a gun stock. So it's hard, but not enough to do damage. You get the feeling that it was more of a get in line type of crack.
Shove.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she's still looking at you.
And
One eyebrow goes up.
I think out to them. We can communicate to each
Yes,
other, right?
we can.
Are you guys done yet?
That's
Yes,
yeah.
best I can do.
Comply, Iara, comply.
Okay, I'll start. Well, go ahead.
She started moving.
Is she
and then
starting to count again?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
You seen her getting her hand moving up, but then you start to look like you're getting ready to move, so she stops.
I go back a little bit. I did not start moving. I'm going to let her continue counting.
Okay, so she brings her hand up, and so she goes, "When I bring my hand down, I'll watch you bleed. Comply."
And now I start moving.
She chuckles. So she goes up and down the line.
I keep holding her eyes until she lets go too. Like I'll start undressing, but I want to keep holding her eyes as long as she.
When she sees that you're undressing, she moves, she turns,
Okay.
and then walks completely up to the front of the line.
Okay.
What you can see her do is she goes up to the front of the clothes. She lifts each item, turns it inside out, unbuttons, and then palpates and feels, and then throws it off to the side when the other guards kind of gather up, and you see them doing the same thing. And so it's just a redundant search.
Does anyone remove items? Because they both have items.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay. Well, hopefully we would see them, is why I'm asking.
And so,
Does anybody else? I think he's asking. Does anybody else in our group that's not us have items in their clothes that they take out?
not that you could tell.
Okay.
So then at the first person, she tells him, "Open your mouth." And so opens his mouth, and she shines a quick little flashlight inside and looks all around, has him swirl a tongue.
They haven't
swirl his
taken
tongue.
off the ball gags yet.
They do as part.
Okay.
Yeah. So once they tell him open her mouth, takes off the gag, and then when she completes with that, she says, "I want you to hold your arms out to the side, turn your palms up." So he does. Spread your fingers, and so spreads his fingers. Turn your palms down, and then guards on the side like slap the hands, trying to jar. In case they're palming something between the skin, jarred loose. At least that's what it looks like. And then at that point, she says, "Squat, turn your head, cough." Said he's clear. And then goes on right down the line.
So when the professor sees them do that, he's going to take just sort of nonchalantly just sort of run his hand through his hair. He's got a pretty big mop of just wild hair.
Yeah.
He's going to try to leave the splinter as best he can somewhere buried in his hair.
Einstein.
Yeah.
As you start moving, and so you hear a guard quickly walk up from behind. If you're going to stop, tell me if you stop. If you're going to continue, we need to roll initiative or do initiative. Do you continue?
Literally, as I just move my hand up like this.
So as you start moving up, you hear the rushing. So because like I would describe before, there's one guard. There's actually more than one guard per prisoner inside here.
He's got dandruff.
I'll stop.
So and then you hear the person kind of stop, but then move up directly behind you.
They are very observant here.
So out of character, just so you don't think I'm railroading you, again, there's more than one guard per prisoner. So each guard is assigned one person,
To pay
and you can
attention
tell
to.
that they've done this before.
Yeah.
Professor, is there any chance you could hold it up a nostril? I don't know, but if you can,
I don't think they would let me raise my hand to my face.
I don't think you would have control of a sneeze. Ufa, same thing. Can you roll that mask up and shove it up your nose? They only seem to look in the mouth.
It's a little too big to throw it up my nose.
I'm trying. I'm
Yeah.
trying. Both of you. I'm doing my best.
I think it's futile at this point, for me at least.
I understand.
So one word's processed.
I can't think of a way out of it, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I've tried.
I'll
I've
give
really
it a
tried.
shot.
One more's processed.
The professor will shake his head, start sniffing a little bit, like something's bothering him.
Crack! You feel
Now, Professor, get it in your nose now.
a butt against the back of your head.
Okay. Okay. As he hits me, I'll just go straight down like this and I'm going to try to shove it up my nose.
It's the only thing I can think of. If you could potentially lodge it
Ouch.
in the smaller capacity in the higher end of the synapse, or the not synapse, the sinus, you might be able to hold there.
Let's see here.
My only other thought would be to try to drop it and put it on your foot, because it doesn't look like they haven't checked people's feet.
Oofa, that's a great idea.
So go ahead and roll Dex.
Okay.
Or maneuver. If you have maneuvers, I'll allow that too.
Same thing.
But you may have added maneuver.
Okay. Not terrible. 10.
10.
That's a standard,
How big are these shards?
which I don't know either.
Don't think it actually describes them specifically. If you can find someplace in the Nile that describes Eternium shards. Do you have the Nile book?
I don't have it with me.
I have the PDF. I can look.
But I don't, reading the Nile book, I don't recall finding...
I didn't see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like if it's a double A,
Eternium splinters.
if it's like a double A battery,
It could be too large. For
yeah,
you to do
and
that,
it might
I
be,
don't know.
and I don't know. I was just
I don't know
saying,
either.
just for the sake of it, trying. you
Right.
know. And for Ufa, it's hopefully getting it under his foot. You can pull the same maneuver.
Yeah, they're gonna make us walk forward though.
So, I'm going to make a ref decision. To be able to power a full-blown weird science gadget, I'm thinking they're going to be longer than what you're going to be able to put into your nose safely.
Okay.
They
Okay.
can be formed into small splinters that can be used to power gadgets, albeit with a threat of burning out at any time. The Eternium in such splinters isn't destroyed. It's eternal after all, just no longer is useful for them, is the most I can see. That
I mean, we have flat watch batteries that can power a lot of stuff.
But that watch batteries are way out of Niall's Tech's axiom.
But are they out of weird sciences tax axiom?
Well, weird science is what allows you to do like the ray gun,
Okay.
but not necessarily a lithium-ion battery.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Eternium Splinter. Splinter is a small piece of Eternium that allows gizmos to temporarily replicate pulp powers. Eternium splinters are also used in minor gadgets.
But no description. So yeah,
No.
That's the most
Go with that.
description.
So, with that being the case, I think you would have known.
I would have not.
yeah, he wouldn't have
I
tried to
wouldn't
put his
even
own brain
anything.
out.
Correct.
Yeah, I would have just dropped everything in my clothes.
So
It's
let's
fine.
go and retcon that whole
Yeah.
part of it.
Okay.
But even when you were still moving, you can feel that, just that inadvertent nervous go to scratch your head, and then you could feel the movement behind you.
Well, these guys are serious.
I have seen it since the beginning. They are well trained. They work well as a unit. Even in small units, the tactics are strong. I wish I had them with my team in Thargold. We could have done a lot with them.
So, Ufa, you're
Yes.
next in line.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang on to the mask.
So, Lady Nightbird goes down and grabs your shirt. You hang on to the mask?
Yeah,
So, is it in your hand?
it is in my hand. Yes.
Okay. So, is it balled up? Or are you trying to hide it?
Yeah. Yeah.
As we know,
Okay.
Ufa's not the most tactful of people.
So she
No, it's something else. It's good.
Okay.
So she goes and pulls up your shirt. Where did you hide your guns?
I put them on the floor with the rest of the clothes.
Yes. Okay. Are they in the pants?
Yeah, they were
Okay.
in the pants. Yeah.
So she feels the shirt. Anything hidden in the shirt?
The scarab necklace.
And so she's like, looks at you and kind of feels it. And so she pulls this out. And so she's like, is this meaningful?
Just as anything else is.
So then you won't mind if we put it into the incinerator.
Go ahead.
So she puts it in the shirt and she tosses it and she says, burn it. And so the guard just kind of nods as he gathers it up. And then so she picks up the pants, feels the weight. She's like, what do we have in here?
Something that wasn't properly taken off of my custody.
Maybe that's why and she nods towards Tony's bleeding out corpse and the pool of blood that's forming around him. Maybe why he was relieved of his duties.
I would think so.
Are they of sentimental value as well?
Just as much as anything else.
And so she doesn't even bring them out.
Yeah.
She doesn't really know guns.
Yeah.
And so she just hands them and holds them out to the guard, and she's like, scrap them. Then picks up socks and shoes, anything hidden in there.
No.
And so she goes, hold your arms out to your side, open your palms.
All right. I open my palms and the mask falls to the ground.
She's like,
I go, oops. Forgot that.
she reaches down and she's looking at you to grab it.
Okay.
And so she kind of pulls it open, and she's like, how macabre. Is this of any value? Do I need to burn this too?
Not really of any value to me. I just forgot that it was my hand.
Maybe I'll add this one to my personal collection. And she kind of folds it up and puts it in her cargo pocket.
I can't say I'm very surprised.
Turn your palms downward, please.
Palms down.
And so here, the flat.
Yeah.
And so bend down, squat, cough.
This seems a little bit extreme, don't you think?
Do you do what she says when you say that?
Yeah. I've already been hit a couple times. I'm good.
And so processed. Iara. And so she comes up to you. Anything I need to know, bastard?
There's a dagger in my clothes.
Is it of any sentimental value?
No.
In the trousers? So she pulls up.
I just shrug.
She goes to the shirt. Anything hidden in your shirt?
No.
And then the pants. So she's like, I can feel it. Does it possess any qualities from home?
Shouldn't you be able to feel that yourself?
I'm asking to determine whether or not you're going to be an honest prisoner.
No, it does not.
And so she kind of folds the pants similar to what the other weapons, and she's like, dispose. So a guard reaches over and grabs those, and then goes through anything else hidden.
No, just the basic dagger.
She gives the same commands. Do you comply?
Yes.
And so there's a process. Max,
Yep.
anything hidden?
No.
And so it goes through the pants, and then any visible cyberware on your body.
I don't know. So the razors retract. So she would have to see it in the skin, and I don't hold them up in any way to show them off.
In your mind, did you see like a metal opening where they would come out, or more like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine?
Yeah, more like that is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So I have a few pieces of cyberware. I have the slashers. I have the frenzy jack. That might be. I don't. In all honesty, it's not me trying to hide it. I actually don't know what these things look like. So let me see if this implant boosters. And these are only using the term implant. Apologies, I usually have these things marked.
No worries.
Sonics are marked.
We didn't know that this would be a thing, so.
Right. Oh, I also want to note that in the pulp power section, it says when you attune a limitation to an item, that the DM has to at some point give it back to you if it gets taken away.
Just so you know.
So you know.
Slashers are long blades housed in the forearms or fingers, which extend when needed. The blades are sturdy and sharp. So that's the term for that one. And then,
Yeah, if you sound like the Wolverine, then that's fine.
okay, hydraulic shocks built into the user's legs add spring and explosive bursts. So
That would be an implant, so
Yep.
necessarily not outerwear.
yep, and then the other chode is also an implant. So that's my assumption for those.
Okay. As she's going
The
through-
Zippo lighter is the only thing that's in there. Things that are in my clothing, yeah, because it's the only thing I brought.
Okay. And so she looks at it and she's like, is this of any sentimental value?
It is, but not to me. I would like to keep it if you would allow it, or I would like it potentially to be returned when I'm released. And I smile.
So she kind of smiles knowingly at you too. She's like, of course. And so she hands it out to one of the guards and says, please put with his property.
Son of a bitch. You hear me say that in your head. Son of a bitch.
Well, I sounds like I at least kept it from the scrap pile.
Yeah.
Could have just asked.
And so as you guys are mumbling, you're quiet.
Oh no, not mumbling in the head.
This is all
Oh, this is all-
Telepathic.
those-
Yeah.
sorry,
Telepathic.
because that's still
Telepathic.
in.
That's right. Then comply with the orders.
Completely comply. I've done this before. I'm ready for them to ask names, rank, and serial numbers. So
No, she doesn't go that.
I'm just saying I'm completely ready to comply with that.
Professor,
Yes.
where are the shards?
So the professor has folded his clothes neatly at his feet. And
Very
right
neat.
next
Probably
to
the
it,
neatest of all of us.
right next to it, he has laid out his gizmo kit, and right next to the gizmo kit are the 3 Eternium splinters.
Well, she comes to you, and she obviously sees those laying out. Are those of sentimental value?
None whatsoever.
So they can be destroyed?
I would be careful. They hold some certain amount of power. I've never tried to incinerate one, if that's what you're intending to do. It could have some unforeseen consequences.
Where are you from?
I'm from Benghazi.
You can see her think. Are these of your homeland?
Yes.
Bag them carefully. And so you see one of the guards going to come over and just this cellophane bag just open up and not that bad. He goes to grab, just go grab him. She says carefully. And so he kind of looks at her a little bit confused, grabs your kit, puts it in, and then she says separate bags each. He kind of looks up, shrugs, she's the LT, seals that one off, and then in 3 separate bags puts each shard.
Iara, in your realm, can people change their look to some and not to others? I wonder if we see her as who she is because we know who she is. I wonder if the rest see her as somebody from here or somebody they know.
I don't believe it would prevent others from seeing it. There are spells that allow you to disguise yourself, but it would disguise to everyone.
To us as well, even though we know her?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay.
So the professor's never met her before. What does she look like exactly?
So the bone structure is very similar to Iara's, but her hair is bound tight up in a bun that could potentially... She has those elven facial features.
Covers her ears so you can't tell.
But it can't tell. She's tall. She's about 5'11", very lithe and very fit. She is very buxom. She has like this honey blonde hair, and her eyes, they're definitely the almond elfin shape, but just hold a palpable cruelty in them.
Gotcha.
Has anybody addressed her by a name or
all by rank, lieutenant.
Just by lieutenant?
So other than that, the professor complies with all the orders?
So then all the way down the line, when everyone is finished, they march all the prisoners into basically a large shower room. And so at this point, the dispensers on the showers are all liquid, and basically you push up against like a nozzle up against the wall, and it dispenses out the liquid. The soap has a very acrid, pungent scent, and as you use it to wash, you can feel a sting on your skin.
Oh, good.
I'm going to endeavor to go light on the soap, trying to keep it on my palms. I don't know with that burn if it's going to affect the openings where my blades go. So I'll put it on. I'm not going to ignore doing it, and I will wash myself, but I will endeavor to keep it away from the holes in my hands.
Just like the whole process of washing.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the guards are there.
Right.
But it's real easy to try to avoid that.
Yeah, okay.
Is anybody doing anything?
Is Lady Nightbird still in there with us?
No. When she finished processing, the guards took everyone off, and then she left with 2 of the guards and the collected property.
Any separation between Iara, Azrael, and all the men?
Nope. All showered, are undressed together, all showering together.
All right.
At Azrael's cyberware, didn't blink an eye.
All right. Continue on with the process.
Yeah. So as you continue on with the process, then it gets ready to move on to housing. So at this point, they don't give you, just like Shawshank, they don't give you the clothes to dress. They just give you the pack of clothes that you walk in naked to your cell. At this point, though, the guards do single out Azrael, and they escort her away from the remaining of you.
I'm going to ask her, what did they tell you? Why are they taking you?
In her mind, she's like, they didn't tell me anything except follow me. You can hear not panic, but the anxiety in her voice.
Show me everything you do. Show me everywhere you go.
It's like, yes, I will. So you guys end up going down to your housing. When you come into the main housing unit from the admin building, you're going into quad block 3. There is a entrance from this corner of this building into the corner of that building. So you're just quickly coming out and then coming back in. It's covered and it's cemented.
Now, is our group split up at all, or are we all going to quad block 3?
Everyone's going to quad block 3, the entire group.
Except Azrael.
Except Azrael, correct. So when you seen her get separated, she was going off to quad block 1.
Okay.
So she's going the right place. The Hida brother is in quad block 1. Maybe, possibly, she can talk to him.
So when you get in here, you can see that it's 4 stories and just the entire line of the walls are cells. Inside the middle of the quad block is a kitchen area, but it's actually smack dab right in the middle, and it is wide open. Then around it are seating areas. You can see a bright red line that is painted cordoning off the kitchen area. Then around it is kind of like cafeteria style chairs and whatnot. And one thing that everyone really mind, actually.
5.
20.
10.
11.
You immediately notice there are no visible guards posted in this in the quad block.
Interesting. No guards.
What do you mean, no guards?
There are no guards immediately posted in this block.
I don't know why I didn't notice that. You're right. That should normally mean that somebody is on their payroll here. Let's see if we can figure out who that is.
So you guys end up getting placed and housed. So let's see here. Max and Ufa, you are actually housed together.
Ooh,
Handy.
that's nice
Or
for me.
not.
Iara, as you get placed, you go into a housing cell, and the guard tells you, your friend should join you soon if we can determine what exactly she is.
What do you mean what she is?
Inside. Welcome home.
I could help you figure that out.
Inside. So you walk in. Professor Graves, you are housed by yourself.
Oh,
Damn it, I don't have a roommate?
You don't have a cellie.
wow.
Gosh darn it.
So when you guys walk into the cell, one thing that you notice is it's not barred, and so the entire wall is made of this just a clear acrylic that you can see right through. Inside of the cell are 2 bunks that are up against the wall, so it's not bunk beds. There's a narrow path that you can walk in between. And then on the far end of the wall is a toilet sink combo with a shelf about chest height. They're all connected to the wall, so you actually cannot take it apart, take it out. Rested upon the shelf is a paper toothbrush, and then paper dispensers for soap, toiletries, and so nothing plastic. The deodorant that you see is carved in it, but basically it's almost like a dry deodorant that you would rub and then rub on. You can tell that there's and if anything, these got wet anyhow, or it would just
Disintegrate.
yeah.
How does a
does a
paper
toothbrush
toothbrush work?
Paper, everything except toilet paper, which is plastic.
Yeah, that's a good question. And so, Professor, I think you would easily piece together that this is something that they probably just replenish daily.
So it's a one-shot toothbrush, basically. Yeah.
So, but it's not like the 3 shells in Demolition Man, where no one knows what it is.
Right. The door is a mechanical door and the only thing that you can see on there is a metal plate that hides the locking mechanism, so you actually can't see through it. But the door itself is also clear, and then there's 12 ventilation circles up on top of the door. On the roof, the ceiling of the cell, you see a speaker, or what looks to be like a speaker panel placed in the center, and then there's ventilation, like ventilation ducts, but there's 3 lined up from the center to the back towards the toilets. But 3 separate ventilations.
This is the way that the demons and the machines watch us. And so I want to take my time right now and start looking through the cell, being as inobvious as I can, trying to find where are the cameras, the pickup mics, all of that.
Roll find.
It's going to be a straight find because that is not my skill, but I feel from my background I would have it. That is going to be currently a 10.
10. Is there anything in your background that would correlate to a skill, perhaps streetwise?
Streetwise, if we make it streetwise, then that would make it a 12.
12.
I know it's there.
You know it's there,
I just can't see it.
but you can't see it.
Okay,
It's
so the
too
tech
well
is different.
hidden.
And so in my head, all of you, I want you to know we are being watched. I can't find the device yet, Professor. Maybe you can figure it out. But I know we're being watched by something. If anyone can figure out what it is, let me know.
I will, I guess, once he says that, I will take a closer look at the cell, go over everything, see if I can find anything out of the ordinary, anything that would be a camera or that might be watching or listening.
Roll find.
An 11.
This is just technology that you're not used to.
That's where I looked too, Professor. I wasn't there.
I'm not even going to try.
I mean, usually these things have big, like, red blinking lights when they're recording, right?
Not in my time. They got very small, the size of a finger.
And confirm this is all in the
In mine.
in
Yes.
the group
Yeah.
chat.
Right.
In the group
Yeah.
chat.
Are we locked in, or are we allowed to wander around the block there?
No, you guys are locked in.
Locked in.
Is everybody else locked in?
Everyone else is locked in.
Okay. I'm going to look at the rest of the cells. Who all's around us? Is it still this kind of group of political dissidents that we came in with, or are there some, like, pretty hard people here?
Can't tell. And so because the only cells that you can see, because they're all lined up, so you can't really see to the one next, but because of the glass you can see, across the quad.
Yeah.
But it's too far away to be able to get a read on somebody.
Okay.
On the,
And it's night.
Are we near each other?
You're all on the same block.
And same
But are
floor.
we? Are our cells next to each other, or did we see them go?
They're you're like a couple cells apart,
Okay.
but they did not separate, and so it's you get the feeling that it's a co-ed cell.
Got it.
Do you,
Does the door close?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So
so we're. It's not like it's an open.
And just to be clear, the front of the cell is like some sort of plastic,
It's an acrylic.
an acrylic. Okay.
Yep,
So you can see through it, but it's solid.
correct. And as you this is something I think the professor would do. You would inspect, just start looking.
Absolutely. I'm looking at everything that.
From what you can tell, the seams are airproof or airtight.
That was going to be
Hence the ventilations.
That was my thought. So the holes in the door look like something can lock into place, closing them.
As you start looking up, you rolled a 12 on your streetwise. Yes, you can't see where, but you're quite certain.
Okay. So I'll let everyone know, be careful. If they want to suffocate us or gas us, they can do it. And unless we can break out of it, there's no way to get away from it.
yeah, I've been gassed before. It's not fun.
Okay, looking out the front of the cell, there's still no guards anywhere to be seen.
When the guards escorted you in, they left and exited along that floor tier, that tier floor that you're on, and you don't know where they went. Couldn't see where they exited.
Well, I think at this point, hunker down. I'd like to pull back. It's not overly taxing, but it is tiresome. And
I'm
connect
sure
this up.
they'll let us out at some point to eat at the very least.
I'm not certain, but I believe that's probable.
It looks like it with the kitchen in the front there.
Maybe we need to just sit tight and see what the routine is, so we
Agreed.
know.
That's what I was
Absolutely.
going to suggest.
Let's take it in. I'm signing us out.
Close the group chat.
So, Ufa, you've been gassed before. Have you been in prison before?
No, I have not.
I can't count the times. Most of the time,
Oh.
we've successfully been able to escape. The couple times where I was not able to escape, somebody broke me out. I don't think anyone's going to be breaking us out.
I do find it weird that they don't have the ball and chain with the striped jumpsuit that they usually give us, or give prison inmates in my world. And like
That's-
the black beanie cap usually.
Is this to identify you as to the severity of your crime?
No, it's just the uniform. The ball and chain is to make it so that you can't run.
Everyone wears the same?
Yeah.
Murderers, rapists, everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
Add a character, I'm sorry. What you are issued is a fresh pair of underwear, a t-shirt, orange jumpsuit, socks, and flip-flops, and then like a type of, like Vans type of canvas.
Black or orange?
White.
White. Well, we will stand out if we run in these, so...
Well, yeah. I'm sure that is probably the point.
There's no rubber sole on it. The sole of the slip-ons is canvas.
Nice.
Of course. So it'll carry a shock. Well, I say at this point we should get some sleep.
Yeah.
Well, before the professor goes to sleep, he's going to take a longer look at the ventilation and everything in this cell. He's going to take just look at everything real close on it. I'm going to try to justify using science here to see if I can figure out exactly what the ventilation and how it works, and he's gonna like stand on top of his bunk and take a real close look at the ceiling and
So it's about
figure anything out.
So it's about a 10 feet height, and as you get up close and start inspecting, you actually hear over the speaker, there's a please step down.
Okay, I start to step down. Say, I'm not feeling very well. Do you have an infirmary?
No answer.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All right. Well, I'll go over everything as best I can without triggering an alarm or somebody talking to me.
So as you're sitting there looking, based upon your earlier roll, without actually manipulating it,
Getting in there and taking a closer
Right.
look. Yeah, and they're not going to let me do that. All right, I'll just go to sleep.
Okay. You guys sleep for the night then.
Yes.
The next morning at about 6 o'clock, you all hear an alarm clock waking you up,
Nice.
Is it in the cell or is it coming from the speaker?
coming from the speaker.
Great. I mean, I'm awake, so I'm gonna like move my arms around to see if that maybe stops it.
So once you start getting up, Max, do you get up?
Absolutely. As
So-
soon as it goes off.
So once the two of you get up, then it stops.
So Max, you've been to jail a lot then.
Well, I've been put into holding cells. I wouldn't call it jail. My understanding of jail is with the intention of changing your way of thinking. Ours was simply holding till we were processed through to something else. And I'm doing push-ups at this point.
Should I be doing push-ups too?
This is my normal routine. If it's something you wish, I can show you.
Yeah, I can do push-ups, and I'll just start doing push-ups.
So
with
we
them.
begin with 150 of these.
Oh, I get through about 25, and I'm like, no.
Wait for me, I'll show you more.
About an hour goes by, and then at 7, what you guys hear is you hear the door actually the door unlocks.
Does it slide to the side or pop out or pop in?
It just and then just kind of gently moves away from the locking mechanism.
Out or
Yes,
in?
out.
Out, okay. Well, I'm certain we are expected to go somewhere. How was that for a morning workout?
That's no problem. You can clearly see he's exhausted. Out of character. Ufa Lee's strength is not good.
Okay.
It's a whole 6.
Right,
So
okay.
this is reflecting that.
Okay.
It gets easier. It gets harder first, then it gets much harder, then you plateau. But it does get easier eventually.
Of that I'm sure. Okay, all right. Let's go get some food then, I guess. I don't know. What do you think? Is that what's next?
that's my hope.
And as you guys throughout your workouts, and then from that 6 o'clock time, so Professor, what did you do from 6 to when you got up to 7 when the door opens?
Professor would have gotten up, dressed, or taken his morning constitutional, dressed, and then probably just sat on his bunk and waited.
So as you sat down on the bunk, you're able to see motion and activity down in the kitchen
Does
area.
it look like they're preparing a meal?
exactly
basically?
what it is?
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
And does it look like prisoners preparing the meal, or like outside?
No, it's actually prisoners preparing the meal.
So, okay.
There's a
So
pro-
there are jobs to be had here. Interesting. All right, Professor just waits.
And so as you wait, then the door just mechanism unlocks and then slides out, just ever so just like pushes away from the locking mechanism.
Okay, Professor gets up, walks out, takes a look around.
And when that door pops, I'm going to click out to everyone. Is everyone being released? What about Azrael?
So did you connect in with Azrael?
Yeah,
And
because
so
that's the 4.
Okay.
Unless she's outside of a kilometer.
no, she's in. So you hear from Azrael. She's like, I'm in a segregated cell by myself.
Did your door release though? Are you being allowed to eat or this like? We're assuming we're going to eat.
Not yet.
Okay, and then I'm going to wait and see what Iara says as well. But Ufa and I are going to step out, and I'm going to look and see if everyone's heading towards the kitchen or the red line or something. I'm going to walk with it.
As you step out, what you see is just this floor is the ones being let out. So others along the other tiers are not being.
Is this
let out.
open tiers, top to bottom? We can see all 4 levels.
Yes.
We're on the first floor,
Third.
third floor, so we can see 1 above and 2 below.
Correct.
And the chow line is on the first floor.
Yes.
Okay. So where are we walking to?
So there is a stairwell on each end of the floor.
I'm going to walk to whatever one is the farther one away.
So as you guys, it's really, you're a bit going against the stream, and you're kind of getting some dirty looks as you're going against the stream. What you guys notice is the prison in and of itself, from at least the people that you can see, and then you walk by the different cells, is, again, both co-ed, but definitely the overwhelming number is male.
Sure, of course.
You would guess from what you see, gauge it about 75% male, 25% female. And you even see a few Adinos that are in the cells.
I was going to ask if we notice any
That's
other races.
interesting.
That's wild.
You see a couple elves as you guys are being let out. One dwarf. And then there is it's not as heavy Asian influence as you thought it would be, maybe about 60%.
Are they all? Are there some? Is it just kind of like spattered between people who are like looking really rough and been in jail all the time, or are they just those political dissidents? Like, what's the variety?
Do they all look
of people?
like political dissidents?
Yeah.
Roll streetwise.
Okay.
12 for me.
14.
14. To the best that you can tell, what you see is there's really not an in-between of like somebody who just wants to get their time done with. It's either have, like this scared kind of look that you may think are the people not used to prison, and then the kind of hardened criminal look of people who are used to prison, but no in-between.
Huh. I wonder if that was on purpose. All right.
I'll nod at some of the elves as I go by and see if there's any connection or acknowledgement.
They nod back.
Okay.
Instantly separating everybody by race. I see you on
The universal sign of elves. What's up?
I'm interested in talking
Graceful.
to a dwarf. I've never seen like a dwarf before.
They
like
like
that.
to be called little people.
Oh, they do.
They do.
Not allowed
At
to
least,
call them
at least
dwarves
around
anymore.
me.
Well, that's good. Okay,
They're-
I'll make sure I
they're-
call them that.
No.
Don't.
They're
No? What do
they're
you
from-
mean no?
Don't do
from,
that?
They're from Isle, and they are dwarves.
Oh?
Can you tell me more about these dwarves?
Not right this moment.
Okay.
Oh.
So we eventually see Iara in somewhere in the line? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then, with the group chat going. So when you guys go down, you notice that a line forms to be able to get chow, but nobody crosses the red line.
They walk up to it and stop.
They walk up to it, stop, and then kind of follow along the lines to pick up the tray. When you pick up the tray, it's almost kind of like a paper mache. So
More paper.
Yeah.
it's so you're not going to be able to weaponize it, use it as a weapon to hit somebody with.
And you're going to have to eat everything soupy quick.
Quickly.
That's interesting. So the professor's in line waiting. He sees that nobody crosses the red line.
Correct.
What's on the other side of the red line?
The kitchen.
Oh, interesting. So he's going to turn to just some random person in line. He's going to say, I'm going to need you to do something for me. And I'm mind controlling. That's a 24.
Oh.
So he just kind of says.
I'm going to need you to step across the red line.
So he steps across, and so at that point, what you
Incinerator.
guys hear is all of a sudden the lights kind of dim down and spotlights just kind
All
of
over the
shine
place?
down all around the center area, and you hear "Step back away from the line." He doesn't, and so he kind of looks back at the guy.
Professor,
looks
this
back
is
at
over
you.
by you. What's going on? You're kind of fuzzy
Someone
right now.
stepped across the red line.
Huh.
This
Again.
is an experiment.
Step back off the line.
Can you make him walk farther if it's yours?
So then you hear at this point, everyone on the floor lay down on the ground, arms out, legs out, do it now.
Comply, everyone. Comply.
Comply.
I lay down.
Everybody except the one that you told
Yes.
immediately complies. And so, which at that point, you actually, up from the top is like some type of gas comes out from the vents from way up on top, and you feel this kind of like a vacuum pulling the gas down.
Whoa.
And so when it gets down to where everyone is laying down, everyone make a strength check.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I have a 4.
I got a 2.
I got 0.
So everyone who failed their
2.
strength check,
That's everyone.
you are now very stymied
Okay.
Oh, okay.
and feel like woozy. And so at that point, let me see this.
Are the
guy
rest
here.
of you being affected like I am?
Oh yeah.
Whatever that gas was,
Yes,
it's
it's very.
Was it
some kind of inhibiting
was it
gas.
A purple gas?
I don't feel good.
Was it purple? What color was it?
You just heard it.
Yeah, just kind of heard it.
Okay,
In
that's
the
crazy. They've gotten
Odorless,
rid of purple
tasteless.
dye.
Odorless, tasteless, dissolves instantly in water. It's iocane gas.
Iocane gas. It's a good thing I built up an immunity to iocane over that.
Dude who is standing there, who you mind controlled like a champ, is just kind of breathing, and he's still looking. He's looking at you with like this pleading, questioning look.
Professor, get him to walk farther. Move him on if he's yours.
Tell him to stop looking at you.
Well,
It's
maybe
weird.
don't say anything because if he says something to you, they're going to notice that.
First, stop looking at me.
So he's like, and he kind of just looks into the kitchen, and kitchen staff is all laid out.
Run through the kitchen.
He's like
Walk
looking
into
everywhere
the-
but you at you.
Walk into the kitchen area and take a seat.
And so he walks into the kitchen area, and there's no place to sit, so he just sees a counter and just kind of jumps up on the counter. And he's like, you can, if you could just kind of from here look up and just kind of, eyes to the side, and you can just see this scared look on his face, but he's still doing as you asked him to do. After maybe about 90 seconds of everybody breathing the gas, all of a sudden you hear the heavy footsteps as a reaction team kind of comes in. And when they come in, you can see that they're dressed in full kit, like the ones out that you saw in the airfield in Taiwan, minus the weapons, but they're carrying just these full body acrylic shields. And when they come up, they give the guy an order, to get down on the ground, and he kind of looks at you and then looks back away again.
You should get on the ground.
And so he immediately gets down on the ground, and when he does, they jump down up on him and just quickly package him up. He's hogtied and cuffed behind his back, and they just kind of lift him up and they pack him off.
Paper cuffs. That wasn't thought of.
So that was interesting.
Okay, well, we
did
have
that?
the answer.
Yes.
So we need to figure out how to either stop the effects of the gas or stop the gas.
So you wait about another 2 minutes, but you can feel the vacuums, suctioning out whatever, the hissing sound and then whatever made you woozy. And you hear over the speaker, said, "Everyone back to your feet. In an orderly fashion, return to your cells. No meal for the day."
No,
That might have been a mistake.
Sorry.
It's okay. I've had worse.
I'm going to look up and be like, but we complied.
No response.
No response at all.
Do I see Richard? I have some time now to look.
Yes, all of your crew was on the plane was placed upon
Every
the same
one on
order.
the bus is somewhere except Azrael.
Correct.
Okay. And the plane was all human
Correct.
in our case. Okay.
Do we see anybody else that looks like they might be she's from Cyber Papacy?
Yep.
That, like,
She's
any-
cyber papacy, yes.
anybody that has mechanic arms like her or mechanic stuff?
Roll find.
13.
Nothing obvious. I mean, possibly under the jumpsuit,
Okay.
but no Terminator eye,
Right.
no mechanical hand.
Okay.
As you guys are you making your way back to your cells with everyone
Oh,
else?
yes.
Yes.
You hear a definite pissed off grumble amongst the group.
Is the dwarf anywhere that I can talk? Is he within sight? Can I catch up to him and be like, hey?
I mean, he's further up, but if you go to step out of line, somebody says, "Back in line, fish."
Fish, I'm a human.
Do you continue moving forward?
I mean, yeah, I say that as I'm walking forward.
And so you hear over the speaker, it's like, "Everyone stop, back in line."
I mean, I'm in line, yeah.
Do you get back into your original place, or do you just get into the nearest line next to you? The nearest
I
spot?
wasn't, so I would be in my place, be back in my place.
Okay, so because it sounded like to me you stepped out and tried to catch up.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
And so at that point, you move back to where your original place is?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, just from what, obviously you guys can tell, you're being monitored.
All
Yep.
day, yeah.
And they definitely keep a orderly fashion when it comes to, like, the moving along within the prison.
Yeah. Looks like I'm not talking to the dwarf today.
Nope.
In my,
Nope.
In my,
Well, in the group
Presumably
chat?
There'll
Yeah,
be
in the
another
group chat.
meal at some point
Tomorrow,
today.
when we move out of our cell, we'll see if we can identify him and move that way quickly.
Yeah.
Follow in
Move.
line behind him.
As I move back into the cell, I'm going to stand there next to the door. I'm trying to get an idea of how the locking mechanism works, so I could potentially do something with it at
Right.
a later point. So
Right.
that's what I'm doing. I'm studying that as the door closes.
So as you're standing by, I'm not even going to lie, because it's plated, and so that's covering the mechanism itself that's locking it. So you can't see how
But
it's
it has
working.
to lock into something, doesn't it?
It's not from what you can tell. And
So
so,
there's nothing here on the inside of the door.
On the
It
glass
just
side of the
slides.
clear part.
so the door like swings open,
Uh-huh.
and then when it closes, there's definitely a actually I will roll science.
19.
Because you don't see a mechanical locking mechanism.
It might be magnetic.
Yes.
Could be from the back side rather than the front side.
Could potentially work with that. Interesting. Okay.
My friends, I think I'm again going to drop the connection. I will pick it up if we get another meal or in a few hours. So, Ufa, what did you learn? Anything?
that you stay in your spot.
Yeah, that's...
Don't step out of line or over the line, in fact. Actually, is
Definitely
probably the
do
best
not
way.
step over the red line.
Don't step over the red line.
yeah. Okay. Well, it gives us more time. I can talk to you about working on your form. And
Yeah.
your arm should bring the elbows back in closer.
So I'm actually kind of curious. If we were to spar in here, what would happen?
I suspect we would be stopped. Do you wish to find out?
I mean, do we want to find out right now? I'm not
I don't
feeling
think
the
so,
best.
because if I understand you correctly, were I to do any damage to you, you would have an untenable situation since you were not able to keep the mask. So I don't think we pushed that yet.
I mean, there's really only one way to find out, but maybe we perhaps at a later date.
And on a full stomach.
Yeah, that would
Or
be
at least
nice.
having had a meal.
Yes.
On a full stomach's not good.
Yeah.
You should never swim on a full stomach either. You get cramps.
Swim? I don't know that I'm very good at that.
Ah, good.
Do you think they have a pool?
I don't think so. But we may have to swim. I mean, it's an island.
That's fair. Yes.
So always finish eating an hour before you swim.
Okay. That's good to know.
That's what my family taught me.
Yeah.
Around 11 o'clock, you see a group of cells, but it's not just one floor. It just looks like a
Random?
random group of cells, across the way, open up, and prisoners coming out,
Okay.
and then moving along.
I'm opening up the thing. Anybody get released? From where we're at, we can see a number of cells, but on all different floors opening up. Anybody being released?
None of you guys have been released.
No.
No.
Keep an eye, see if you can pick anything
I'll move
out, figure out
forward
what
and
they're
take
connected.
a look and see what's going on.
I want to notice if there's anything I can connect between them all.
Roll streetwise.
15.
I'm looking for the
I'm sorry, that's going to be a 10.
A 10?
13. God, I can't count.
Are you
13. 13 is correct. 13 is
Final
correct.
answer.
No. There's a few women, mostly males. None of the Adinos. Doesn't appear to be any of the elves.
Quick calculation as best I can. Is it a good cross-section of the makeup of the entire population? Like, is it roughly 25% female? Is it roughly 60% Asian?
100% Asian, but lesser degree of females.
Okay.
But 100% Asian.
I did notice before
So,
that prisoners
that was good.
were...
This guy's stacking up his possibilities.
That isn't going
Right.
to count for shit.
I noticed there were prisoners working in the kitchen. It's possible that they could have some sort of job that they're doing or going to.
They might. Did anyone notice for the workers in the kitchen? Because I'm noticing that these are all Asian in caste, people from here. Did anyone else
I
notice?
think back when I looked at the kitchen staff. Were they all Asian?
Roll mind.
17.
No. It
No.
was about 50% makeup of male, female, and then maybe about half of them were actually Asian, non-Asian.
Huh. No. The kitchen staff was a mixed group.
Okay. I mean, this doesn't matter to well, it wouldn't matter to men, but Iara, being female, I'm certain that you could tell looks in a male. Are all of those men attractive?
Where are you going with this, Max?
Well, I mean, they're on an island. There may be, I don't know. I just had a thought. Men are not picky, but women tend to be.
How do the men look?
A mix.
They are not all attractive.
Okay, well, that's not the right thought then.
Are there any distinguishing characteristics about these people that are being let out? Do they have like tattoos? Do they have like augmentations? Do they have crazy hair? Is it all?
They're all Asian.
All Asians, the only thing that got pushed together. Other than that, can't tell because of the jumpsuits.
Okay.
But you mentioned no elves or Adinos.
All
No,
Asian.
all Asian.
Specifically Asian.
All human Asians.
All human Asian.
Interesting. And where are they
Just
going?
see
Are
where
just
they go, yeah.
Going down the stairs like they were originally what we did for food, and that's
So
it?
the stairs are enclosed. So basically, it's like a spiral staircase with entrances on each floor. So you actually can't see within the stairwell itself.
But they
Can
go
I-
into the stairway.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I see the other cells that have not opened? Are there any Asians in them?
Actually, look. Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's not all of the Asians have been released.
It's not all of the Asians, correct?
Okay,
Just all that were removed were Asian, that's all.
got it. Okay.
Can we see the exit to the stairwell on the lower level?
No, you cannot.
So we can't tell.
I'm gonna call out to see if my cell neighbor. Is there anybody over there?
When you call out, you ever been to like a soundproof room?
Yeah.
It has that feel to it.
Okay. Even if I direct it towards the holes.
The holes are right up on top, so it's
Okay.
about 10
too
feet.
high, too high up.
I realize it's early in our incarceration, but we do need to start looking for a way out and a way to maneuver. At some point, we're going to have to take action. And if we can't figure out how to get out of these cells, potentially having you, Iara, raise a dead man isn't going to matter. Because they'll gas us.
I do have the ability to open locks, independent on how well I can do that
Do you
fairly efficiently.
Don't try it now. I wish there was a way that we could find out whether you could do it on these. I mean, does it only work on locks from your cosm?
No, it's any kind of lock that's not any actual lock,
Okay.
but like a spell on a door or a incantation on a door I may not be able to open. But
Wait, you will be casting a spell that can't rechange the power of a spell, but it can change a mechanical
it's a
item?
very specific spell.
Interesting. Okay.
My concern is that when I stepped out of line, they made a big deal out of it. Lord knows what they're going to do when a door opens.
That's why I
Yes.
say not yet. Not
I was
yet.
also considering casting a more minor spell or more innocuous spell to see what would happen, such as my armor spell,
You're saying if you cast it,
to see what the response would be.
do you think that's wise to do it now? I'm not saying don't. I'm suggesting I don't know that it's wise to do it now.
I'm not suggesting doing it now, more of just a consideration for something to see, test what's happening, what would
Absolutely.
happen.
Can you put the armor on someone else?
I can, but it has to be by touch.
Also, you risk them finding out that you can do magic.
That's my concern.
Yeah.
If that was found out at
It
an
could
inopportune
potentially
time,
mean
we're
they
now.
segregate you as well.
Yes.
Although we don't know what Lady Nightbird's connection is here, but she knows that I can do magic. So I'm not.
And nothing's been done yet. But I would suggest again, I don't think that Lady Nightbird was invited here. I think she's here like we are
to get the shard.
to retrieve the shard.
I agree, which is good and bad for us. It tells us that the shard is still here.
Or at least
Or-
they believe it's still here.
Correct. Can I push out? And are there other possibility rated people here besides Richard? Am I feeling?
How far out can
yeah.
you push?
I mean, because you can't see, you can feel people near you, but that might just
Not
be
sure.
your companions.
Okay, I'll try next time we're out and with food stuff, because it would be interesting to see if there are other, besides our Richard, see if there's other possibility rated people that would have the ability to do magic as well.
So, unless anyone does anything, the entire day does go by and nobody is let out for food.
Oh,
That's not nice.
you owe me one jelly donut.
What an asshole. Had to step across the red line.
We should
Sure.
mess him
I
up
can't
when he
believe
comes
it,
back.
yeah.
I know. I guy's going to get his ass kicked when he comes back here.
If they ever give us a chance to kick his ass, yeah. Not that I would do that ever.
No.
Never.
The night goes out. So day one in prison, you learn that you are somehow, somewhere being surveilled. They have the means to gas the entire prison
To make you very stymied at a minimum.
at a minimum. And the people that are here seem to quickly pick up what the routine is and not step out of it.
That makes sense.
The next day goes by.
Is that your...
That's my outbreak.
6 o'clock in the morning. Does everyone get up?
Yep.
I
I'm
know
up.
that it's a 7 o'clock run time, so.
Yep. I'm like, all right, so
Again.
push-ups, sit-ups.
Yep, we'll work through it.
All right.
Push for 26 today.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. You know, I'm gonna try to do 27.
Good.
That's what I'm gonna try to do.
He does 23.
Probably true. Yeah, you may not-
His arms are sore from yesterday.
Yeah, oh,
He
yeah.
can't get past 20.
So you guys notice today at 7 o'clock, it's tier 4 that gets let out this time.
We were tier 3.
You were tier 3.
Okay.
If everything works by my calculations, tier 1 should be next tomorrow.
You have 1 meal a day? Is that how this
I'm
works?
not certain about that.
Is this like the green goo from Snowpiercer? The little gelatinous cube of grasshoppers?
Did the Asian people come back?
Oh yeah, they came back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, good.
Did they look different? All right, did they look haircut, tired,
Fed?
beaten, bullied?
Fed.
Roll mind. Everyone can roll mind as you see them come back.
Anything else I can roll other than mine? 9.
16.
10.
16. What you notice is they look a little dirty. Like their hands are dirty. Their clothes and like lap is a little bit dirty. You know, like you get dirt on and just kind of rub it on your hands.
They do have a garden. Maybe they were gardening.
Ah, yes.
But they don't look exhausted.
No,
Okay. So my guess is they weren't breaking rocks or moving sand.
no.
It's weird in the prisons in my world. They usually make them do extremely hard labor while chained together. Usually laying down railroad tracks or something.
Interesting. There's a lot of trains.
Just one.
It's an impressive track if they're constantly laying it down.
Yeah, but
Is
it's
the-
all connected. So yeah.
The world, you have acid rain, corrosive air, the like to destroy the rails.
No, it's just the sand.
Sand.
That's just it. It's just the sand, really.
I didn't know sand had a corrosive ability.
Well, when you blow it hard enough, when the wind moves it hard enough.
Okay, I have seen that, the effects on weathered buildings.
Yes.
At 7:45, you guys see the tier 4 that was out to breakfast just kind of start picking up and then dropping all their plates and then lining back up to go to their cells. At 8 o'clock, tier 1 opens up and they come down for eat.
Do they sit in a prescribed manner, or do they sit wherever? Can I see
Wherever.
that?
Sit wherever.
Sit wherever.
Yep.
Wow. They're giving
Nice.
some freedom where to sit. That's incredible. That's good for me. I might be able to talk to the dwarf.
Jesus.
At this rate, just be aware that we will probably begin eating at 9.
Okay. So, sit-ups, leg day.
Oh, no. No. Only one set.
Oh, okay.
So 8:45, tier 1 starts, picking everything up and then make their way upstairs. 9 o'clock, tier 2 comes out.
Now, does it look like, and this is something I'll look for, does anyone straggle, or does it appear, do we have a clock somewhere? Is this how we know a time?
There is a clock. They're placed way up on top, like up by the roofs. It looks like some type of crystalline glass that is angled and anchored up on the roof with a digital reading.
Does it look like, I mean, I don't know how much we can see of any of the levels other than ours, but as far as we can tell, does it appear that everybody is back in their rooms before the hour?
Yes, it does.
Right. Nobody's straggling. Like, nobody's stepping over there at 8:01.
No, and it looks like people
Are
are
they mostly early?
No. Mostly, not necessarily mostly early, but the ones that look like are on the verge of becoming late. You see them hurrying to finish their food or rushing their tray over, that type of thing.
I don't know if you've noticed, but it's 45 minutes to eat, and then they begin cleanup. Don't dally.
No.
We don't want to draw any more attention to us.
That's fine.
I will be eating quickly. I'm very hungry.
Yes, I think we all are.
Eat slowly, you'll get fuller faster.
So
I probably won't do that.
Tier 2, same process, and then at 10 o'clock, your guys is...
No, should have been 9. At 8:45, they clean up. Should have been
So
9.
7,
But then
first,
it was-
first
yeah,
one went out, tier
tier
4
two.
went out, 8, tier 1 went out, 9, tier 2 went out, 10,
yep,
tier
10,
3.
3. Okay. 10 o'clock.
So everyone kind of starts filing out, and you see there, like on the look on people, there's the same type of "fuck, I'm hungry" look.
Yeah.
Do I see my friend who stepped across the red line? Is he
You
back yet?
look around. He was close by, but when you guys came out, you absolutely do see him.
Okay.
He looks worried.
He should look.
Professor, does your friend look any worse for wear?
Does he look like he's been beaten up? Any injuries, anything like that? Or does he just look like scared?
He just like his eyes are darting around, and he's like looking at just each people. He looks scared.
Okay.
Looks-
So, but he doesn't look worse for wear other than that. Okay. No. Seems perfectly fine.
In your ability to do what you did, can you get him to talk to you without remembering that he talked to you?
No.
Okay.
You guys head down to the lines.
Yep.
Get your food. Really basic food: potatoes, eggs, fruit, juice, milk.
Oh wow. Give us two
Squirt of
different
white,
beverages.
squirt of yellow. A multicolored squirt.
But you also notice too that what gets dished up on everybody's plate, regardless they don't get a say, is kind of like this salad-looking thing. But they've got some nice slices of oranges and watermelons on it. But there's the salad there.
But that's the salad is like the main thing.
No, it's
It's the only thing that you don't have an option for.
yes.
Interesting.
And if you look real closely, it's not like a varied green. It looks to be all the same type of green.
I'm gonna
Like a uniform, singular color, which
Can the
no plant
professor
normally
place
has.
this plant with maybe a lore roll?
Or no, it'd be more of like a botany science type of role.
Science roll then?
Yeah.
I will take science over lore. 21.
This genus of green leafy vegetable you have never seen before.
Interesting.
I'm gonna poke at it and ask the person next to me, "What is this?"
Salad?
Doesn't look like a salad I've seen before.
It's a green lettuce with fruit on it.
Does it make you feel different?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm going to sit down across from my friend who stepped across the red line.
Okay. So you sit there. As everyone else grabs their plates, where do you sit at?
I'm looking to find a dwarf.
I follow Ufa.
Okay.
I'll follow too because it's somebody from my realm.
Yeah.
You see him kind of sitting down with a group of people. You can see the table filling up quickly.
Oh crap! Better get over there. So I kind of hurry over.
You're able to get a seat actually across from him, like about 2 seats down.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So I sit down. I start eating, and I'm just looking at him. I'm not being very discreet about it.
And so he's like, notice you like looking
Yeah.
at him, kind of frowns, and then he keeps on eating, and then he's still looking at you, and, and he's like, "What?
Hi.
My friend's
Wh-
never seen a dwarf before.
Well,
where are
lucky you. Now you have.
Where are you from?
I'm from your mom's arse.
That's not
Tell her
very
I said
nice.
hi next time you see her.
You could tell your grandma I said hi too.
What'd you say?"
You heard me. Did I stutter?
He gets up, walks around the table,
Anyone else know what Ufa's doing?
looks down,
I have an
and so he looks
idea.
down at you as you're kind of sitting. He's just a little bit taller than you,
Yeah.
and so he's like, "Say it one more time."
You can tell your great.
Wham! And he punches you right in the face.
All right. Sir, roll for that. Let's find out what happens here.
I'm a little concerned. Didn't he say that he has to change into something with the mask? How?
I don't think he's trying. I think he actually wanted to talk to the
Let me just
dwarf.
check on something real quick.
Professor, do you understand this mask thing? I mean, does he, what happens if he changes and he doesn't have it? Do you know?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
We may
Be
be about to
prepared for
find out.
anything.
Okay, what is your unarmed combat?
14.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I'm a wiry little bastard.
Ufa said he could do some things.
So he actually did roll a 36,
Jesus.
Holy cow.
which is going to be an 11 to his 9, so that's 20. Beat you by 6, which is a good success.
Okay.
So that is going to be 1 bonus dice, and that is, what is your toughness?
6, because I don't have the mask.
6. So I beat you by 13. That's a of 7. So you actually are going to take a wound
Oh.
Okay.
and 2 shock.
What
I guess
happens?
now we find out what happens.
So it just kind of comes down, and as you go to go make your snarky comment, he just boom cracks you just right on that hinge underneath your jaw. You can actually feel your jaw just kind of dislocate a little bit.
Yeah.
You instinctively reach down to where you keep your mask, and you can't feel it. And that impulse to grab your mask, that compulsion to grab your mask, is pulling at you so deep you are stymied.
So that's an additional 2. So, okay.
So after he cracks you, he says, "So you want to say something again?"
Ufa, don't. Dwarves are very prideful.
Clearly.
Compliment the hit.
That was one heck of a hit.
Wham! He cracks you again.
About to hit him with the tray.
Hit him back this time.
So he rolled a 23 this time.
Oh,
so
God.
that's going to be a unarmed combat 16, beat you by 2. What is your toughness again?
6.
6. So he beat you by 2. That is going to be 2 shock.
All right.
He says, "That's for being a pussy."
Hit him now.
I'm hitting him. I'm actually going to fucking Muay Thai his ass. I'm just gonna put him in.
So
He's
you
about to die
absolutely
from a
can
dwarf.
jump up and strike back.
Yep. Alrighty. I'm actually gonna grapple him.
Okay.
Shit, that's not very good. That would be a 10.
Beats me by 1.
All right.
Oh.
So that would be... Shit, actually, hold on a second.
So while this fight's going on, roll a mind.
So the standard success is I do strength minus 2 damage. And
What is your strength?
It's a 6.
And so you go to you go to shoot a double, but from a seating position, weren't able to
Yeah, just like,
just
I
lock
couldn't
in tight
twist it
enough.
into
You
it,
couldn't you
yeah.
couldn't get the hips, and so he kind of take a step back and goes to sprawl, which tells you he actually knows how to fight a little bit. So we're gonna go into initiative unless
Okay.
you stop.
no, I'm not gonna stop.
Okay, what did you roll?
15 on the mind.
15. You see 2 people. While everyone else is watching this fight, you see 2 people start making their way to your table where you're sitting at.
What do these 2 people look like?
They're both Asian males.
Max?
Yes,
I may need some backup. Some people are approaching me.
I see him, and I'm following them. I'm ignoring what's going on with Ufa for now.
Okay, so for this round, standard heroes first with a surge. So that means you need to roll reality.
Okay. Luckily I have Runner, because that is a... Shit, actually, I have to subtract 3 from this, or is it the total?
It's just don't roll a 1,
It's
right?
roll
three,
a one.
three
Yeah.
from the total. If
3
you-
from the total,
yeah.
okay. So that
But-
would be...
As long as you don't roll a 1, you're fine.
Yeah,
That's fine,
you're
yeah.
just
I
rolling
didn't-
for disconnect.
Alright, I
think.
didn't
Yeah,
roll a 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
so
good.
yeah, you're still so you're still within this, or you still maintain your reality and don't transform.
Okay.
Heroes are first though.
All right. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna punch him. I'm
Okay.
gonna hope for the best here. I'm gonna actually stand up off the.
So yeah, you fail to shoot the double, so you
Yeah.
stand up and get in a good stance and swing.
Oh, that's not good. That would be an 8.
An 8 doesn't beat him. So as you go to swing, he just kind of taps it down and boom, just comes in with the elbow. And that is going to be a 10, which you're unarmed.
14.
So you see that elbow coming, and you just kind of put yours up in a nice telephone block, and your elbow, the point of your elbow, hits his. He kind of takes a steps back, a little bit surprised at that block, and then you see him just kind of get reassessing. Do you continue the fight?
I do.
All right. So they get closer, and you can tell that they're not looking at you. They're looking at
Yeah,
the.
Oh, they're going after
that's what I figured.
the dude who stepped across the red line.
Professor, how are you doing?
I don't think they're coming after me. I think they're actually coming after with the guy sitting across the table from me.
Look surprised.
Villains first, but heroes get an inspiration.
Which means what?
Inspiration, you immediately recover 2 shock.
If I survive, it's not likely I will.
So he swings at you, and that is going to be 11 versus your 14. And so it's a good punch,
Yeah.
but you just just kind of tap it down, and again catches him a little bit by surprise.
Do you want some help, Ufa?
No, I have to do this by myself. I must win his respect.
No, he's right. I thought you would know that.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
go ahead
checking
and
to
just
make
go
sure.
for the attack.
He looked like
Okay.
he was injured.
I assume dwarves are no different in prison than anyone else.
That would be 15.
Beats me by 6.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So that is going to be a good success, plus 1 bonus die.
Oh, Okay, here we go. That would be 10 damage.
10 damage, and so you kind of like just come down.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is the -3 off that too?
Not off bonus.
Oh, okay.
Just
Yeah.
the hit.
Just the hit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I think I actually forgot to take the 3 off.
What is the -3 for?
That's because I'm stymied and
Oh, I
because
see.
I've taken the wound.
Yeah.
So it would have been
You had a
Seven.
16.
12. Yeah. Or,
I think you had a 16.
Okay, so it was
Would have been a
13.
13.
13,
Yeah,
which would have
I'm
only
sorry.
beat him by 4, so would have been just your strength.
Okay, so 6.
And
My
so
bad.
he just kind of lowers his dwarven head,
Yeah.
and you just punch it. I mean, it hurt, but you still can make a fist. And so, and he gets ready to go. So as they reach the getting closer, dude then notices what's coming at him, and he just like cringes because he knows what's coming. So the fight with you and the dwarf, heroes get a flurry,
Okay.
and first.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna go ahead and make an attack.
Yep. So you see, Ufa has good form, but not much mass behind the
Right,
punches.
right. That's been his problem.
12.
12 beats me by 3.
Okay. So it'd be 6.
And so you come across and just like crack right across the chin, and he just does one of these.
It's like a lightweight fighting a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Oof, when he leans in, strike low, strike down across the front of his nose.
I'll try. Well, don't, for the
Flurry is
at
after
the end.
his.
After that. Okay, that's right. Okay.
Should I try to boost his armor?
Nope,
Test
nope.
the magic?
No,
He's rolling
Okay.
a lot. I'm scared.
So that's 20, 30,
Ufa's
40,
about to die.
51. That
hey,
is-
my unarmed defense is 14.
well, 51 gives him a plus 14. So
Yeah.
That's
so,
fair.
Puts him
Okay.
at probably like a 23.
Anybody have a hero card for my mans over here?
so that's going to be 2 bonus dice worth of damage.
Oh, good
Jesus.
Okay, so that's going to be.
ugly.
Yeah.
If it goes down,
What is your
Toughness.
toughness?
it's a 6.
It's a 6. I have 19.
So 13.
So that beats you by 13, which gives you 2 wounds, 4 shock.
Yeah, I go down on both accounts because I have no more shock left, and that's my 3rd wound.
So you swing,
No.
crack him across the jaw.
Is this non-lethal damage?
No.
Or actual lethal
It
damage?
is lethal damage.
Ouch.
It is lethal damage. He was not trying to fight non-lethal. So he goes and just, when you crack him, he kind of cracks against the jaw, says, my turn. And so he comes in low, and when he comes in low, you're expecting him to go, come up high, but he stays low and just hits you right in that xiphoid process. You can actually feel it break off
Oh, shit.
and enter into your liver.
Oh, jeez.
And so you feel that
Ow.
immediate pain. You can spend a possibility to soak.
I will do that. Here's the possibility.
Because you are possibility related, rated.
Okay, so I've never soaked before with the possibility token. What's the
You're
process
making a
here?
reality roll.
So it's going to be, it's just straight reality. So yeah,
Oh, actually, I would have to subtract 4. Or,
no, it's I don't.
You're not subtracting anything.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
a straight reality.
all right, so that'd be 10.
10. It's a standard success. 1 wound. All of your shock.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So you feel, like I said, and you
down
can
below
feel
your
yourself
thing.
getting ready to go, just to go out. You end up just pushing out with your reality. You end up coughing, but you cough up blood. It kind of lands on the, some of it lands on the dwarf, and you kind of stumble back, holding your side. All of your shock is gone. Your wound is gone. Do you continue the fight?
Absolutely.
You still have 2 wounds?
Yeah. I have
Well-
1 wound left.
Why are you continuing the fight?
You're gonna die.
Because I have to.
Catch him by surprise. Lift your head up into his lower jaw. Do it now.
Go down. It's an opportunity.
So at that point, you all of a sudden the lights just kind of the spotlights come on, as did when your friend crossed over.
Uh-huh.
You see the 2 guys are walking up onto him, just pissed.
Start
And
shoveling
then you hear
food
it
into
over
my
the
mouth real quick.
loudspeaker, everyone down onto the ground, prone out, legs and arms spread wide. So the dwarf looks at you and he starts going down, but he's watching you to make sure that
You don't
go
jump.
Sucker.
What is left on my plate that's not salad?
What did you not eat?
I don't know. Were we done? I mean, we're done. We're done. What I'm going to do is grab anything that's not the salad because that's useless, And when I'm going down, put it in my hands, put it in my mouth. 'Cause I know they're not going to let us eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still had food left.
All right, so I'm going to grab anything that's not the salad.
Okay.
Do
you go down with the
And
dwarf?
the salad thing is not extra. It's
I'm
not protein.
curious.
It's not carbs.
I'm not going to. I'm actually going to grapple him.
Okay, so he was ready for it, so he's not caught off by
Yeah,
surprise.
that's fine. Yep.
Oof, what are you
And
doing?
so,
It's like, I'm curious. I want to
Trying to die?
All right, yes. No,
so
that's a good
villains
idea.
first. You can see him now. He completely changed, and he is actually going for full all-out defense.
Okay.
And he tells you, "Are you crazy? They're
Maybe.
fucking coming."
Maybe.
Not as crazy as your grandma.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go,
Stop fighting.
what happens?
He's like, "I don't know. Stop fighting."
I need to know what happens.
He's like, "God, then don't fight me. Fight them."
Good point.
Do you stop fighting
I
him?
stopped fighting him.
He immediately drops down. And so, and again, you hear, so, as you're still standing up, you hear across the loudspeaker, immediately go prone, hands out, legs out.
Done it.
stand
They'll
there.
come after you. Go down. Go down. They're going to take you away either way. You've already stood up to them.
I go ahead and lay down.
As you lay down, the guards come in.
I'm laying down directly next to Redline guy,
Okay.
and I'm asking him quickly. Tell me what happens when they take you.
It's like, I just got put into, what? You're the one who asked me to step across. Why am I what did you do?
Do you want to step across again?
Of course not.
Then tell me what happened.
He looks at you kind of, who are you?
I'm the professor.
Professor Lewis.
They just took me to AdSeg.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Is there an infirmary here?
Yes.
How do you get in the infirmary?
You get hurt,
Are they going to take my friend to the infirmary?
probably.
All right. All right.
And so, but he's looking at you, but very fearfully now.
Yeah.
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 Should be.
So,
The tough guy's not going to be the 6'5" guy covered in scars. It's going to be the little wiry hair professor dude.
Yeah.
My own world. I mean,
I'm sorry. Did you lay out?
I did, yes.
So the group comes out, again in their full body shields, tacked out, tack kits, no weapons except for the shields and restraining devices. You're hogtied.
Yep.
So, and handcuffed behind your back, and then 4 of the guards lift you up, one on each arm, each leg, and they pack you out. So,
Ufa keeps sending.
as they pack you out, they bring you out through this way. You come out and you come out to this big yard, this open yard, and basically this whole section right here is the garden. But it's not a typical garden, like you don't see tomatoes and green beans and lettuces and
Yeah, it's
onions
not
and
a
radishes.
combination.
All you see is just what looks to be a green leafy cabbage lettuce type thing.
Tobacco.
But that's all that's grown in this garden.
And it was the same stuff that was on the plate, the salad plate.
It looks a lot like it, yes.
And it's just like that fully, single color, no variation whatsoever green.
Correct.
Well, that is unnerving. Okay.
So they bring you into an AdSeg building. They bring you into the AdSeg building, and along this line wall right here, on the bottom floor, are a bunch of individual cells.
Okay.
And so basically, they open up an empty one, and this cell just has the commode and bunk, and that's it, and a very narrow walkway that you can walk to get to it.
Okay.
They lay you on the bunk, and they undo everything. Then one by one, the guards exit out. The last guard, though, kind of stands over you, and he actually takes a cheap shot and punches you in the ribs. And as he kind of leans down, and you hear him start saying, "You stupid motherfucker," and he gets down to your ear, and he says, "You don't know me, but tell the others I'm Roger Boris, and I'm here to help. Get your plan done quickly and let me know what it is." And he stands up, whack, and punches you in the ribs again. You can tell both times, just like Tony, though, he
Yeah.
pulled him.
Hold back. All right. Mm-hmm. In my mind, as soon as he says that, I relay that information to the others.
Who is that? Does anyone know Roger Boris?
Boris, we Wasn't he also from Joliet Company?
He was the commander of
Yeah.
Joliet
Oh my
Company.
God, you're right.
You got
He was
drunk with him.
Joliet.
Yeah. We got super drunk with him.
That's the reason why I don't remember.
It makes sense.
I was very drunk.
It makes sense that you don't remember.
I like that guy. That guy's great.
So they leave you there. When they clear out, there's about a full 2 minutes. Everyone's on the ground, and then you hear resume.
Oh,
No, get back up and keep eating. Did the Asian guys start coming back after?
Absolutely.
do I feel other possibility-rated people
Yes, you do.
besides my people and Richard?
Yes, you do. But you can't pinpoint who.
Okay.
So you guys start sitting down, and are you looking at the two guys coming in behind him?
Yes, I turn
And
around
so,
and look at them.
guys see the person who used the red line guy sees you looking over his shoulder, and he looks back and he's like, "Ugh." And about that time, the two of them just start coming in and start wailing on him. But you can tell that they're not trying to hurt him. So they're hitting him in, the stomach.
They're not trying to kill him. They're just trying to.
Yes.
Send a
Hurt him.
message.
Hit him
Send a
in the
message.
arms, hit him in the legs, and so nothing on the kidneys, nothing around the head, nothing around the throat, nothing on his chest. So, but the strikes are and they go for a while.
Well, as they start hitting them, I say, I think you gentlemen are hitting the wrong person.
And so one of them was like, "So this is the bitch that prevented us from eating."
No, he's not.
He's like, "Yeah, he is."
I'm the bitch that prevented you from eating.
And so they kind of stop, look at you, and be like, and keep willing on this guy. They didn't see you cross the red line.
Professor, what's going on over there?
They're beating the red line guy.
Oh, we kind of expected that was going to happen.
Yeah. Should we just
Retribution.
let it go? I'm not too familiar with prison etiquette.
I'm
Or should we stop it?
Roll
Should
a
I
mind,
stop it?
everyone.
Except for me, though.
Correct.
wow. I finally made one. 16.
I also got a
15.
16 as well.
So all of you realize during this conversation that they're wailing on this guy,
Nothing's
And nothing's
happening.
happening.
but they're not stopping it.
Nobody's.
And they're both Asian.
Yes. So, but you're close enough, like I said, to see that they're not trying to hit him in, the jaw, the head, the temple, vital areas.
What do you think, Max?
I think they are potentially part of a group that has some control in here. Do you remember Hita's brother was part of the...
Tokashi?
No, I think it was called the Yakuza.
Oh, the Yakuza.
Tokashi was his brother's
Yes,
name.
yes, but I wonder if they are part of that group. Maybe that's how Kanawa keeps control.
Dear
How
sir.
would we know?
I'll ask. Do you know Tokashi Hita?
And so they ignore you as they're just kind of like punching. This time, what they're doing is they're not just like
Did
blindly
it-
wailing.
When I mentioned Tokashi Hita, did they even look at me?
Oh
Did
yeah. So and then kind of lift up grab his arm and then pull it out, wham! And like I said, they're very purposefully picking targets that are non-lethal. But this poor bastard is going to be sore as shit.
They didn't say anything. They looked at me when I mentioned the name.
I'm uncertain, but that would be my guess. So far, all we've seen... You know what would be interesting? Wonder what happens if a man of their look crossed the red line, Professor.
They're starting to kind of huff and puff now as they're starting to get tired of just beating on this guy.
The old Rubidoop.
Well, we're already across the red line. Is there another red line that we can't cross?
The one into the kitchen.
The one into the kitchen. Is there a red line into the kitchen?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, because you guys are sitting in chairs away from the kitchen.
So I look at the one closest to me and I say, I'm going to need you to do something for me.
It's like, piss
Mind
off.
control. All right, we're going to second chance that. So I don't want to disconnect. Oh, that's much better. 24.
You have his attention.
I'm going to need you to cross the red line into the kitchen.
He's like, and his partner looks up. He's like, "Are you crazy?" And then the guy says, "Sure."
And I look at his partner. Yep, that was me.
So you can actually see his friend try to look at you, look at his buddy, look at you, look at his buddy, and then physically try to interpose himself in between his partner, and so trying to stop him, and so to a point where he's trying to get by, and his buddy's trying to prevent him. He moves by, swims across him. His buddy tries to
I
prevent
can
him.
stop him if you agree to talk with me.
He's like, "What do you mean you can stop him?"
Tell him to
Iara,
stop.
eat anything else you want to eat now.
Yes.
We
And so
probably
he's
won't
like,
eat it.
so he's not like, he's right on the verge of like full blown just trying to tackle the guy.
He ends up
and then
pushing
he
the
finally
buddy
says,
across the line.
"Fine, stop him."
Stop. Come here. Sit down next to me.
And so Emily just kind of stops and walks in over. His buddy looks absolutely perplexed, and he's just like looking around.
You should come over and sit down as well. Let's have a
Alright.
discussion.
He walks over. His partner sits down, just looks at you expectantly.
Here, I push the rest of my meal to him. Eat. And then I turn to his partner.
Thanks.
So do you know Takashi Hida?
Everybody knows him.
Do you work for him?
No.
How would I get in contact with him? So you're not part of the Yakuza?
No, I'm not Yakuza.
Hmm.
What do you know of the Yakuza?
Not much, to be honest with you. Which is why I need to talk to Takashi Hida. Is he in this block?
He is. That's his cell. He points on the first floor. So if you were cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, side 4,
Mm-hmm.
side 2.
Can you get a message to him?
No, I'm not Yakuza.
Is there anyone in this cell block that is Yakuza?
Yes.
Point him out.
I don't want to point him out in case he sees me pointing.
Fine. Describe him so I know him. Where is he sitting?
He kind of looks behind, does a quick assessment, and he says, "Off of my right shoulder, the second row, third table in. You see that group of men? So the one with the kind of spiked hair, looked like it could have been a mohawk.
Sure.
If you look closely, you can see tattoos along his neck.
That indicates he's a Yakuza.
Usually they tattoo their backs,
All right.
but he's definite yak."
I'll relay all this information to everybody.
Damn it! I had it wrong. I thought we were supposed to go to quad 1. Very good. Well, that makes
Any other questions you think I should ask?
No, I think you should let him go.
You should go. I'll release his friend from mind control.
What did you
Both
do?
of you. What do you mean?
You did something to him.
Tell
What
him
did
you
you
have a
do?
friendly face.
I asked him to do something. If you ask right, people tend to comply.
Be careful with whatever it is that you're doing. That's
You
free.
should be careful with this information. It can be dangerous to your health.
I believe that. I'm just offering a free piece of advice. Take it or leave it. He's like, "Come on." And so they look down at the guy just kind of like crumpled up, and just one last right into, and then they walk off.
All right, so we pinpointed somebody from the Yakuza.
10:45 comes along.
Maybe one of us can get in line behind him during cleanup. Did they
you
beat?
guys do-
Did they call, or are people just cleaning up? Because
No, they
see
just start
the time?
cleaning up. Yeah,
Okay, we should do the same. So I will do it,
you're an egg.
Yeah, I'm in seg, yeah.
and I'm going to endeavor to get in line behind him. If
Roll maneuver.
if I can't, I'm hoping someone else can.
Anyone who's trying, roll maneuver.
I'll give it a shot.
I have a 10.
8.
9.
You're. I mean, close enough. It's a standard success.
Okay. So I will get in line behind him as he's walking up, and okay, I will lean forward. I assume he's a lot shorter than me.
How tall is Max again?
6'5".
Oh yeah, no, he's like 5'9", 5'10".
So I lean down and I say, "Takashi Hida," and I ask it as nice as I can.
He's like, "No."
He's not Takashi Hida. He's a Yakuza. Sorry I didn't make that clear.
Oh, I have.
So he could potentially get a message to
Ah.
Takashi Hida.
Well, then maybe I was right. He is in block
Nope.
1. I am trying to get a message to Takashi Hida. I was told you. Well, originally I was told you were him. I apologize for the misconception. I was told you might be able to get him a message. Tell him, if you would, a friend of Dennis's.
Fuck off.
Rude. Now lean back.
As he keeps on walking.
Well, I think we should come by it a different way.
Didn't he say Takashi was in a cell on the first floor?
Yes, first floor.
In this block?
In this block, I have all my notes wrong in my head.
Perhaps.
Still doesn't help. Maybe there's a way to get by his room.
That's what I'm thinking. If we.
Is
next
the
food.
kitchen's not on the first floor? The first floor is above the kitchen floor.
No.
It's on the first floor.
Yeah, so this the cells in the eating area is all on the first floor, and then cells are down like just on the same on the first floor level.
all the cells are on the first floor of, or there's 4 levels? of
There's
cells?
4 levels of cells.
All right, but
He
he's
is on the
this
first
level.
He's on first.
Could you
Interesting.
Where?
telepathically talk to him?
Not without seeing him. No.
He pointed out his cell to Professor.
Did he point out the
He
cell?
did.
Oh.
Can you show it to me?
Yes. On your right, 3rd cell down.
Okay. Am I going to be walking anywhere close to it right now?
So,
If it's like absolutely on the other side, I'm going to let them know I'll try tomorrow.
Yeah.
so if this is side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4,
Okay.
he's first floor, side 2, about just a little off towards AdSeg 1 and from in the middle.
Okay.
And from what you kind of guess from like prison real estate, it's a prime spot.
Because you get to see everything.
And you're on the first floor,
Right.
so yeah.
All right. So what I don't want to do is make it blatantly obvious that I'm walking over, like walk out of line across the whole thing. So if I can't do it, I will let them know I'll do it.
You would
next to it.
clearly be walking out of line to
Okay.
get near the cells.
So I'm going to let you guys know. I will do it, but we'll do it next meal, not now. I'm no attention
agree.
may be drawn if it's during the time when we're getting our food to places.
We
Yes.
could potentially, or you could potentially get a table near his cell and perhaps draw his attention.
Let's
during
try that.
in the
Let's
night.
try
agree.
that tomorrow, or later today.
Also, nothing has been done about while Professor Graves has done his mind control thing, so I'm wondering if my magic would not draw attention as well.
I'm uncertain. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Me either.
And as time, people are starting to get upstairs to the 3rd floor. You guys follow?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to pay attention to whoever's going into the cell next to mine. Who, like, what do they look like, and that's it for now.
In the cell next to yours is actually going to be Richard.
Oh. I will not say anything to him at this point, but I just wanted to know who it was. Good to know, though.
So an hour goes by, and then at noon, you can see the bottom floor, the doors open up, and everybody comes out and then files out.
We can see the bottom floor.
Because you're up on...
Can we see Takashi Hita's cell?
No.
Okay.
So you can see basically 3,
Gotcha.
because it's straight across. But as you can see, as the bottom floor opens up, everyone kind of starts filing out, and people on 3 are filing out towards this way. Maybe about 5 minutes it takes everyone to move, and then 2 opens up.
Ah,
This is different.
Everyone kind of files out.
we were all punished yesterday.
Ufa, any changes?
I just say, did I do good?
You did good.
Did I do good?
You did good, kid.
I did good.
You're a bum.
But Mickey loves you.
No, you did. You did good, Ufa. You did good. Just relax.
I will for now. I'm gonna fuck him up next time.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna do it again the day after that.
No. You're gonna die.
So when they file out, your guys' door opens up.
Okay. Start walking.
So as you guys get out, you can see that all lines are coming out towards the stairwell, heading down towards the exercise yard. When you guys get down to the bottom, you can see a covered hallway that leads to an open door that comes out into this exercise yard. And so as you come out, you can see that the people who came out before have taken up kind of just different places all throughout the yard. Some people are doing calisthenics. You see some people kind of sparring, yoga. Some people are doing martial arts. Some people are kind of running laps. I mean, just various forms of exercises. Other groups are just kind of talking and socializing. What do you guys do?
Do we congregate together? I don't think that's a good
we
idea.
You don't think congregating together would be a good idea? If
Well,
we're
I-
separate, then it's more of a danger.
I guess that's true. All right.
What's
What-
the guard situation?
No guards.
What did you learn about Takashi Hita? Can we potentially figure out which one is him?
But what you do see in here is clearly a guard tower that is standing up tall, several stories, probably about another 6 stories. And then inside you can clearly see like wired machine guns, turrets.
I don't know what he looks like. Were we ever showed a picture of Takashi Hita? You'd think that would be...
Or did you see him in his cell when he pointed him out to you?
You've seen 2 people in the cell. One was an older, just real brief, the brief look that you got appeared to be an older gentleman with graying flat top hair, kind of like had a military bearing. And then there was another one, had long hair, like a well-coiffed beard, slightly graying, but that was about all you was able to
Did
get a glimpse
either
of.
of them have similar features to Dennis?
They're both Asian, but you didn't get a close enough look to
How
be
old
able
was
to make
Dennis? Was Dennis gray
I
or
think
salt
he-
and pepper?
He was salt and pepper.
Which one do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Where
Okay.
do you see
Alright,
them in the
do
yard
you
right
see 'em
now?
here in the yard?
in
Are they
the,
together?
yard?
They are, what you notice is off in the corner in the yard, so up by the
Northeastern
corner
corner?
of Quad 2, AdSeg 2. So yeah, that corner, correct?
Northeastern corner. Got it.
Is the person that was identified as Yakuza and the one that you spoke to. They are, there's a group of men over there, and both of the people from the cell that he pointed out as Takashi is
group.
there. And then there's a ring of men just kind of casually standing around them, but forming a protective circle.
Do we all go? I think that's a mistake. Iara, do you think you can lead this discussion? Because I think you are going to be the least threatening. I don't mean that in any
Do you
disrespect.
think one of us should just go?
I think all of us, I don't know, but I think all of us approaching in a yard in a situation like this is going to
Yeah, I wonder.
settle off alarms where a single person.
I wonder if this is just something that we should wait, because I think your ability to speak to him telepathically without other people hearing the conversation is much more important than having this conversation in
True,
front
you
of
could
everybody.
just
Well,
So-
let's take a spot on that bench there. And my problem is we don't know which one's him.
That's if we can't figure out which one is him, then I say we
could
we
watch.
can
We
wait
might-
till tomorrow.
We might be able to find somebody that defers to him.
Very
in
good.
Some manner.
Yep, let's watch.
And if we do not, I think it's worth waiting until tomorrow. when
I do
we can-
too. I don't think this is rushed, even though Bohr said rush it.
Yes.
So we'll watch. We'll see if they defer either the old man or the salt and pepper more.
Roll mind.
Everyone else, because you know I'm not going to do well. Although, again, not
pretty
a
good.
terrible roll.
21.
15.
15 as well.
The people that approach the guy with the flat top first, and then he will talk to the guy, other man, and he appears to be about in his mid 40s. So who rolled above a 20? So you definitely can see the resemblance to Dennis.
From the longer haired guy.
Just longer haired, and he just has a bearing about him, an assuredness that you've seen in like top nights.
Gotcha. If you notice, the shorter haired guy is continuing to get the information and pass it to the longer haired one, who I see now looks like Dennis.
Would have been my guess as well, since Dennis is not that old. Very good. Stay close. I'm going to drop my telepathy with you, but stay close so I can speak to you.
Yes.
And I'm going to push in to his mind gently and say, Takashi Hida. That is going to be a 15.
As you reach out and push out, he immediately back stiffens, and he says something to the gray-haired flat-top guy, and so he immediately starts looking up, and just the reaction that these two had, you can see just a ripple effect that everyone else in the circle all of a sudden turns outward, completely defensive, and you can see them looking around.
Okay,
He did not respond though.
Okay. I'm going to push in one more time. And this time what I'm going to say is, Takashi Hida, if I had wanted to cause you harm, I would have. Don't you think?
Bring up his brother.
Roll persuasion.
Persuasion instead? Okay, well, that is not going to be good. That is going to be a 10. 8.
And so he responds. He says, I do not do well with threats. When I find out who you are, I will kill you.
I'm going to push back in. If he hasn't broken it, I'll say, your brother Dennis sent me to speak with you. It was not meant as a threat. It was meant to calm.
He's quiet, but he didn't push away. And so,
Don't move
but,
your lips when you speak to me. Just think it.
But you don't get like feelings, right?
No,
So
no, literally just words.
He's quiet for a while, but he doesn't push out. And then finally he responds, why do I care if Dennis sent you here to speak with me? He chose his path.
He said you would be a useful contact potentially inside for us.
Who is us?
We are a group endeavoring to break people out of the prison.
He actually chuckles, and his partner kind of looks at him. Who is looking directly at him?
Hopefully no one.
Since once they turned, I stopped paying attention to it.
Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
I'm checking the rest of the yard.
I started
before
to-
garnering any attention from the rest of the yard.
Roll mind.
A straight mind.
Straight
Having
mind.
a find.
Fine to be good.
Gives me an extra little plus. 16.
Over on this side, there's a group of people, and you can see kind of like this wiry white guy with just this kind of greasy gray hair pulled back. But he can't have a ponytail, but it's kind of like tied back into a ponytail. He's maybe about like 6 foot, 5'11", like the bulging Adam's apple, just kind of a little kind of twitchy, wiry.
Okay.
But standing next to him is this Asian guy, definitely big, about 6'5", 6'6". He has the look of someone who was heavy at one point and then like got rid of the fat but maintained the muscle.
Got it.
And so,
And
not that ripped body, but
Okay.
just, a big man.
And are they paying attention to us?
They are looking directly at you, at your group.
Not at Takashi's.
Not-
group.
Well, you don't see them unless you call 'em-
Oh,
you bring
sorry.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I will bring it up.
Okay.
I'm going to point it out. Well, not point it out,
Right.
but well,
Subtly.
that's right. We're not in
Right.
connection.
You're not in
anymore.
connection right now.
So I'll try to get Iara's eye.
Okay, so-
and sort of. if I can, over there.
Okay,
They're paying
We'll
attention
get
to
back
us.
to that
Okay.
real quick. So
We're
with,
standing next to each other.
Yeah.
and so after you say that, you Takashi kind of chuckles and he's like, "Good luck."
If I could get out, do you want out? You seem to have it pretty nicely set here.
You are prying into my business in which I am not inclined to share with you.
Fair enough. I am simply looking for help from inside.
Then look elsewhere. Make your point or leave me be.
Okay, out of game, I don't remember what the point was other than he was supposed to help us.
They maybe you could out of character,
Yeah.
if you remember correctly. The Yakuza and the other criminal organizations are fighting against Kanawa. So
That's
if you
what
bring
it was.
up that we're acting against Kanawa, maybe that would
Okay.
entice him
Good-
to
good
help us
thinking.
out.
Yeah, out of character, that was very clearly made in the briefing. And also, further out of character, Dennis said that he reached out and confirmed Tokashi as your contact inside.
So I'll come back. Dennis assured me you would be my contact here. But if that's not important enough to you, we're searching into Kanawa. We would like to bring them down. They are causing trouble, as you can imagine, in many areas. They run this prison.
I'm listening.
Well, first of all, do you know of any weaknesses? We have seen very few. I have broken out of a number of prisons. This one is frighteningly impressive.
He said, Kanawa is frighteningly efficient and impressive.
I can see that. Things that we don't know. Things that my operatives and myself don't know. We know very little of the contagion. I believe we need to learn more of that if you potentially know that. Anything that you would have on Kanawa that you would be willing to share would work greatly in our efforts. We are backed by, I'm going to do it, by the Delphi Council. Does that name mean anything to you?
It does.
We are backed by the Delphi Council with full confidence.
Where did you meet or speak with Dennis?
In Hong Kong?
Yeah.
In Hong Kong. He was my first connection coming here.
How were you connected with him?
He was our connection from the Delphi Council. He was supposed to set up, or help us set up, a way into this prison. We do have a secondary mission. Have you ever heard of... Damn it, I wish I had these things marked up. The Crown of what? What is it?
Breifne Crown? Oh, what was that crown? Is it just the crown jewel of...
The crown jewel of modern
Yeah,
rehabilitation.
that's... Oh, okay. Yeah.
We've heard that this prison is considered the crown jewel of modern rehabilitation. We think it is a cover for an actual stone. We searched for the stone as well. The stone may be a way to weaken Kanawa. We're uncertain how, and that is me being completely truthful with you. If you will allow, I can show you that I met with Dennis
How can you show me such a thing?
like this, and I'll open my mind and I will show the conversation from my point of view.
Do you include the words in the conversation to the best of your memory? Mm-hmm. So it takes everything in as you send it over. And so Takashi says, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have not heard word from Dennis since we both went our different ways. He followed the path of a magistrate and always sought the crumbs that the government would toss his way. I sought my influence elsewhere. You should choose your friends more wisely.
I'm hoping I'm doing that now. Is there a chance? You know your brother well.
He cut you off. Friendship is reciprocity. What can you offer me?
I look around and look back at him, focus on him for just a moment, and then look down and say, it looks like you have anything you need except freedom. What could I provide for you? There are things that we can do, but not from within here.
That is what I asked of you. What can you do for me?
Do you wish to stay in here or get out? Because getting you out is part of what we can do.
You're promising me freedom?
I'm promising you, well, if I get freedom, I can promise you will have it as well.
And how can you back up such a promise?
Only with my life. Because if I do not get out, my life will be forfeit.
And if we make this covenant, and you get out and I do not, your life will be forfeit.
Oh, that would be expected. I don't break my word.
Make a persuasion.
Okay. That's actually a 15. I'll take a 15.
I oddly finding myself believing you.
In my world, where I'm from, and I'd give him a quick, overspan of, demons and fire and concentration camps and all of that. Your word is the only thing you have.
We have worked with Breifne that have fled that country. We're familiar with the techno-demons.
Then you understand the land I come from. I would like to see it brought down. Probably in the same way you'd like to see Kanawa removed from power here. I don't know that Kanawa is the same situation, but what I see, I would like to see them brought down as well. How much control do you have from within here? We had heard the Yakuza were all-powerful. And I don't say it with any ire or humor.
The Yakuza are influential here, but there is no all-powerful entity except for the guards.
I understand.
In order to achieve with what you are expressing your desire for freedom, does not necessarily align with what you said you search for a rock as well as a secondary objective.
I do. And I'm uncertain where that would be held. But I have a feeling it is where all items in the prison are held. Do you by any chance know where that is?
What type of item is this rock?
It would be a stone that looks something like this. And I will show him an Eternity Shard. No, it's not what they're called. Yeah, it is.
The Breifne Shard. A Breifne Shard.
I'll show him a Breifne Shard because it doesn't have color or anything like that. I won't show him the crown, I'll show him the shard.
That is an Eternity Shard.
That's what I understand, but it's a dead one. It has no... You know of Eternity Shards.
I am familiar.
You may be bringing more to the table than I do.
He didn't say Breifne Shard, he said Eternity Shard.
Eternity Shard, right. Well, your knowledge in that space may be helpful as well. Would you consider working with the Delphi Council?
No.
Nope, okay.
We fight our war in our own manner, and it will not answer to...
A higher power. I do understand that. Freedom in any way. Understood. If an Eternity Shard was here, where might it be kept? Is my guess right? And then I show him when Lady Nightbird said, keep that with their belongings and burn that thing. Would they be kept where this guard put it?
I'm not familiar with that guard, but anything as value as an Eternity Shard, the only place that could be here would be in the Warden's office.
Any idea how to get to see the Warden?
Impossible. No one has seen the Warden. You guys have.
Yeah.
And in order to get there, you would need to get past the security and the guard tower and into the admin building and somehow bypass the cameras in there.
Okay, one thing at a time. If we were to get you out, simply leaving you outside the prison is not going to be useful. Where do I need to get you that will allow your escape to not be futile?
I am unwilling to give you that information until you present me a plan that could potentially work.
But you have such a place. My question was not to pull information from you, but to figure out if we can do something for you to keep you safer.
I can with absolute certainty tell you I am safe outside of these walls, regardless if it's as long as I am outside of the range of the turrets.
Understood. Very good. Having seen you, haven't spoken to you, unless you block me, I can speak to you again. I will always approach with caution, but I will talk to you as we learn more, if that is okay.
For a moment, he's quiet, and he says, "That would be fine. Let me suggest you speak with Sunli Park as well."
Sunli Park?
He is the leader, recently arrived here in Rishiri, of the Kongpai. They are our colleagues in Korea.
Very good. It is difficult for me to ask questions of locals. Could you show me a picture? Can you think to me what this person looks like?
You see a quick flash, but then he pulls it back, actively withdraws the image, and then he says, "I will arrange a meet with you and him."
Very good.
Check with me each morning to confirm that it has been made. But I tell you this, I am going to vouch for you. If you embarrass me in any way, I will make sure you die as well as all of your friends.
Understood, and I accept the offer.
And then you kind of hear like a please note in his response. He says, "Then we shall work together."
May I ask, do you know, is there any connection between Sunli Park and the Warden? Warden Park.
He kind of chuckles. Park is a very common Korean name.
Ah, I understand. And I will, good day, and then pull out. Not yank, but...
Yeah. So when you break the connection, he immediately leans over and starts talking to the flat-top gray-haired man.
Okay. And I am not looking directly, but I will keep an eye out of the corner of my eye and push back in to my crew.
So while that conversation was going on, you guys were looking at these two people. Mm-hmm. And so when they catch you, like both of you all of a sudden glancing, they start making their way over.
Okay, just the two of them?
Just the two of them.
I shrug as a, let's see what they have to say.
All right.
So they kind of start ambling their way over. Not fast, not slow, but just an amble.
Okay.
And the big guy is just off, just like a pace behind him and right at his right shoulder. So as they come up, you can still see that Max is in connection with Tokashi. And then the kind of greasy-haired guy just looks over. He's like, "Yeah, what were you looking at?"
I'm trying to determine what you were looking at.
"I'm looking at him." And he kind of nods towards Max.
What do you want with him?
"Are you his gatekeeper?"
I wouldn't say gatekeeper.
"Then I don't need to answer you." "Hey!"
I am his friend.
"Hey!" Max is busy.
What does it matter?
"I want to talk to him."
Not right this moment.
He's kind of cut off guard. It's like, "Don't make me angry." "Hey!" As you start finally wrapping up and kind of come aware, and you see the greasy-haired guy and the big Asian guy that I described earlier. Mm-hmm. They're now standing not directly in front of you, but a couple paces back, and the professor and Iara are kind of running interference.
Okay.
If you were busy with something, I bet he would interrupt and give you the moment that needed to happen.
"Hey!"
Are you talking to me? And I'm not
You
not
talking
doing
to me?
That's not what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying.
And so he kind of smugly glances at the two of you, and he's like, "What's your name?"
You were talking to me. I'm Max, and I stand up.
And he kind of looks up, and he's like, "I think you'll do well, Max. What are you doing here?"
Presently, I've been arrested for something. I'm uncertain what. What are you in for?
Political dissidents.
I don't think that's what I'm in for.
Is this your first time in prison?
I literally chuckle out loud.
This one.
Then you know that it's good to have friends in prison.
It's wonderful to have friends in prison. And I believe you're asking if you'd like to be ours. Is that right?
I think you got it the other way around. It would be a good idea for you and your friends to be my friends in prison.
Really? I think that's a wonderful idea. Why would I want to be friends with you? Charming, engaging, I get that. What else?
I'm an asshole, but I'm an influential asshole. And I can get things done, and I can offer protection.
Usually something that's very, very important here. And this is the shorter of the two, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's only about 5'11".
Yeah.
Whereas the other guy is as
a
tall
little
as
taller
you.
than me,
Yeah,
maybe.
He's trying to collect big
I'm
guys.
guessing he's the protection?
he is. But he acts on my go.
That's good.
Professor chuckles a little bit.
Were there other people around them before they came over?
There
Or
was a
it-
group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely not as large as the yaks.
Okay.
But there was a small,
Okay.
he had a little coterie.
Okay.
So, usually friends is a tit-for-tat thing. What does friendship cost us?
Friendship would cost you to do my bidding, to make sure nobody gets to me that I don't want to see, to make sure we continue and grow our influence.
Perfect. So, from what I understand, that would be a secretary. I can probably do that.
That's good. That's real good. I like that, secretary. I used to have one of those.
So I'm going to kick into you two in my head. All right, what is this Joker's deal? I wasn't following.
He was trying to interrupt you while you were connected to Takashi.
I get that. What?
That's all
Why?
we got.
I think he just sees you as being a large, rough individual, and is probably trying to recruit you onto his
Got to collect them all.
team. You gotta, yeah.
Okay.
That's
All right.
probably what. the
Real
deal
quick.
is.
He was quite disrespectful. To
I'm
us.
going to gently push into Takashi, not facing him. Takashi, I would ask a quick boon. The gentleman and his friend in front of me, are they going to cause you problems? Do they?
So, I don't know yet who you are.
Understood, but they are trying to recruit me.
What
I
is your
don't think I want
location
to.
in the yard?
Oh, he never saw. He doesn't know who you are.
Oh, he
sees
never
you.
saw me.
Correct.
So I will tell him point blank.
And so you can,
I'm the other 6'5" guy who's standing next to the 6'6" guy.
he says, that is Iggy. He has some influence in this prison. The big fella behind him is Oro Taoshi. He was a professional sumo wrestler before he was arrested.
Nice.
He's like, they won't cause us any problems.
Good. Well, more influence, more knowledge. Anything I find, anything you need to ask through me.
You kind of like get the feeling he's really to say something, and then he goes, "You are not vouched for, Yakuza. Do not put my name out there."
I wouldn't. I mean, if you have something you wish to know from this Iggy. And I gently cut the link, hop over the table, put my hand right up to Iggy. You got a deal.
So Iggy says, he goes to shake your hand, and he says, "Good. That's real good. Follow me."
Okay?
So he turns and walks back to his
Iggy,
little
one
group.
moment,
And so, I give the commands. Follow me.
and I still stand. My friends, the ones that you were speaking to before,
He turns around.
protection needs to go all around. Are we good?
So,
I'm smiling.
no, we're not good. You're supposed to follow me. Follow me.
My friends follow us.
I think he's got little man syndrome.
And
say in your head.
I start following him.
And so, and is good. That's real good. And he follows back over to his little coterie. So when you guys get back over there, and so he kind of sets himself up on the bench and just kind of leans himself just magnanimously back. And he's like, So what are your names?
I'm Max.
They call me the Professor.
Okay.
What was your name?
My name's... How did you know my name?
You told us it was Iggy.
That is right. You did tell us it was Iggy. I apologize. I'm forgetful sometimes. My name's Iara.
So, this is the deal. I run this group here. I run this faction. We need to make sure that we have the best influence that we can here.
What is this faction?
Well, we don't rightly have a name, but it's not organized like the others. But that's what we're trying to do, is organize and become recognized.
So you're a starter group.
Yes.
I'm going to push out with the telepathy with these two, and I'm going to bring Ufa in on it. Professor, this does not seem like a very strong mind. If the need arose, can you control him?
Ooh.
Probably.
Good. We'll keep that as a backup.
He doesn't
What's
seem.
going on?
He doesn't seem.
Apparently, we're joining a gang.
Is the dwarf in the gang?
I look around real quick.
No.
Nope.
Damn it.
Where is the dwarf?
He, as you look around, go and roll find.
It's a Where's Waldo game.
That would be a 19.
As you look, you have to having to do a double take, but you found that he's actually hanging out with a group of Adinos. There's about 22 Adinos.
I'm sorry, what is an Adino?
The lizard men from the Living Lands.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a lot of Adinos.
That's
Yeah.
a lot
It
of
is.
Adinos. Yeah.
I wonder why. Okay. I wonder why there are so many of them here.
And so while you guys can have this conversation, Iggy was droning on about just, the rules of his faction.
He doesn't seem to be highly intelligent.
No, he's
How many
overstepped
people
his power.
do we have in this group?
With the three of you here now, that makes 12 of us.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And you're the leader?
Yes.
I look around and see if I see any facial expressions happen when he says that.
I mean, a couple of eye rolls, but no one outwardly scoffing or anything like that.
All right.
So Iggy, who do we have problems with, if anyone?
And so he kind of just leans back. None.
That's good.
Aurora here keeps all the problems away. I'm expecting the same of you.
To keep Oro away?
To keep problems away.
Well, yeah, of course. Have you considered the Adinos over there?
No.
Well, they're nearly twice our size,
So?
except for the dwarf. Well, I mean, they could be a rival gang.
They're not a gang.
Okay, if you say so. Good, boss.
That's right. He kind of leans back, just very pleased with himself.
I'm gonna feed that ego as often as I can. Yes, boss. All that kind of shit.
He loves it.
Yep.
You might-
Absolutely adores it.
He loves just basking in it.
Yes, he does.
Through this, do we figure out what floor he's on?
Yeah, you do. He's on the 4th floor.
Okay.
Top floor. It's important.
Right? Right.
That's right.
So, I mean, ultimately, other than just him complimenting himself and fishing for compliments,
Yep.
nothing of substance
Right.
just comes out of this.
In being here and watching the yard, are there any beefs that we can see at all, or is everyone pretty relaxed?
Everyone's pretty relaxed.
Nobody specifically avoids, like, I'm walking straight and suddenly I do a 45-degree angle away from somebody and then a 45 to get back where I was going.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, and
That's kinda what
you're
I
looking
expect.
for that social behavior too, because I mean, you're definitely familiar with would be familiar with that. You're not seeing that. So far, what you've seen, it's been a very weird social
Yeah.
interaction within the prison. So if there's anything outside of the norm or the line, you see, so far you've seen a swift response. But regards to inmate interaction, it seems pretty free.
Yeah, I got that feeling. It's when you test the rules of the prison, not the rules of society,
Right.
that we get bigger reprimands. Okay. So with these guys still in my head, I'm not sure where the next step is. Here's where we're at. Takashi Hida is tentatively willing to work with us. He has some control in here. He wants me to meet Soonlee Park over my left shoulder. Don't look. No, I don't know what it looks like, right?
No, you do not.
I do not. I'm sorry. Soonley Park, at some point I'm going to be set up for a meet with him. He is another gang, similar to the Yakuza. He is part of the Kongpei?
The Kongpei.
Kongpei. I wrote it poorly. But he's part of the Kongpei. He's the leader here for them. What I think we're doing is we are collecting groups, but we have a couple of issues.
Yeah, collect
One,
as much influence as we can, I suppose. We need to find out what they can do for us.
other
We
than
need to get access to other parts of the
the prison.
the prison.
What I do know is if there was an Eternity Shard here, which is what we're looking for, it is potentially in the admin building directly behind me, the one behind the guard tower. They was saying it's probably in the warden's office. So we would have to break in there, get through the guns, through the security, into the building, past the guards, up to his office, through the security there, and then get in, steal it, and then still get out. I have made an offer to Takashi in the same way I did to Richard to get him out if we can. He seems to have an issue with the Kanawa Corporation, and boy, with as much power as they have here, I think I have to agree with Jones. This is definitely a top priority to find out who and what they are. Because if the Delphi Council could make a deal with them, I mean, I don't know that I've seen a more efficient prison. I don't immediately have an idea of how to get out. None have kept me so far.
I think if anything, it would have to be to start some kind of big
Major
distraction and riot or something.
But it would have to
some
be
sort.
one where they would stay up, not go down.
Yes.
So, and it would probably require us to have multiple yards, not just one building's worth, but maybe most of the
Well,
prison.
potentially Takashi could be influential enough to get messages or perhaps know his contemporaries that might be in other blocks.
I think he is. My concern is, as with all of them here, they want reciprocation. And other than getting him out, I don't know what to offer. I mean, we don't have anything. We don't have anything coming in.
Potentially hurting Kanawa would
Right.
benefit them.
It would. It definitely would give him a chance to fight back. When I made the offer of potentially having him and or the Yakuza connect with the Delphi Council in any way, he balked at that immediately. So that's not something we can offer.
I wonder if he has enough influence to get us on a work crew.
He might. That's a really good thought.
If we could get to other parts of the prison, we might be able to... I mean, if we can see other parts of the prison, we might be able to come up with a better plan.
Well, what about Borges?
That was going to be my next step. Ufa, if Boris comes through and you get the chance to ask him anything, quietly ask him if there are work crews that move throughout all 4 buildings and possibly admin, all through the blocks plus admin. So the next step, I think, is for us to continue to try and move around the yard and
Make friends with everybody.
yeah,
Try to
that's. I don't know what we offer.
Are the elves hanging out together like the
Yes, they
dinos
are.
are? Perhaps I could go and speak with the elven group.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Go.
Are the Dinos red jaws?
That's
I
good,
look.
Good call.
Roll find.
get... What are red jaws?
They're basically bad Dinos.
10.
12.
You look over too far away to be able to identify a red jaw.
I'm uncertain.
Are they close to where the elves are?
I mean, kind of.
Okay.
About this time, though, you hear a loudspeaker coming out from the guard tower. Said, "Incoming inmates. Everyone return to dormitories."
Well, that's interesting. We could at least get 2 groups at basically the same time. And
Floor 4, please make your way to the halls.
okay, we're not floor 4, but I'm starting to watch who disappears with them. So I know Iggy moves.
Iggy moves.
But I'm just trying to keep track of who goes.
Oro doesn't.
Okay.
And so, I mean, a couple members of here. It doesn't seem to be pattern. So at least none that you can tell so far. And then it went 4, then 3, and that's what you guys are at.
Yep. And so we'll go in.
And so you guys make your way in. Everyone makes their way in, and a couple of hours go by, And floor 3, you actually see a couple people walk by to some of the empty cells. You do not get one. You do not get one.
New cellmate.
A new cellie, correct. And then that motion kind of ends up stopping. If we look across the way, 1 or 2 people from
The other side.
the other side end up getting, a new inmate. But right now, from what you've seen, when you guys entered in, nobody was out. And then as this new shipment of prisoners come in, nobody was out. So time goes by. And eventually you see commotion as floor 4 opens up and they get ready to go down to dinner. And so no lunch, just breakfast and dinner, but the exercise time or the yard time in between, and then the way they tier it out with the floors to be able to help, maintain people, you kind of see, but there's plenty of food. So, and then eventually you guys end up hearing your floor, your door opens.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody do anything different outside of the norm?
Nope.
I'm going to keep an eye out for the dinos that I can see to see if they have red jaws.
Roll find.
16.
You see two adinos that you saw, and they do kind of are standing together. One is a red jaw.
One is a red jaw?
One is a red jaw.
Are we still open? Is the group chat open?
No, not if we would have been on break. But if we're going to dinner, I'll push out.
Okay.
Yep.
At least one of the adinos is red jaw.
Ufa, one of them is a red jaw.
That's not good. But if only one of them is a red jaw.
Right.
Well, I only see 2 currently.
But still,
And
that's
one- yes.
odd. They
There's-
shouldn't be working together
generally
unless it's
speaking,
all about adinos.
Yeah. So it really, maybe that factor is not as important.
As
No.
being adinos and not something else.
Yeah.
Your door opens up when you're in this conversation.
My
Our-
door opens up. Oh, okay.
Yours does.
Yeah.
And so 2 people walk in, one with a tray of food, and they set it on the end of the bed, and the other person is just dressed in almost like a kimono style of robe. And it's a male, and it's kind of got the ceremonial headpiece on, and he comes walking over and speaking in a language that you don't understand, but you think that he's praying. And so as you sit there and pray, and then he'll kind of just reach out with his hand. Do you let him touch you?
I reach out to touch him.
As you reach out to touch him, it just kind of shifts over, and as you meet his hands, you feel a warmth and enter from his hand into yours, and just kind of coming across your entire body. And you had 2 wounds, right?
Yes.
And as this warmth floods all over, you actually feel your wounds heal.
Oh, wow. I've felt this before with priest Flint.
Yes.
Father Flint.
Father Flint.
I was going to say thank you.
So he, like you don't exist, just was a chore. He stops and walks out. Maybe about a couple minutes go by. The guard's still standing there, and then he says, "Your floor is eating. You may join them." And so he kind of steps to the side.
But the food here, do I take this with me?
You can eat that here, or you can stay.
I'll stay.
So he steps out, whoop, closes.
Okay. And I'm gonna eat that food. And in the group chat, I'm gonna tell everybody. I'm basically waiting for Borges. I think they're Borges. I think this is where it's gonna be easiest for him to contact me without being.
Right, and then you can contact us. Good thinking.
Yeah, I might. What I might have to do is get in another fight and then have him pick me up again. It seems like that may be his squad or his duty is to pick up, rabble rousers.
Get it. Nope, that makes sense.
As you guys are in line and having this conversation, getting in line and eating up your food, all of you feel just, when somebody's staring at you, you just kind of get that feel. Well, you're feeling it now.
I start looking around.
You start looking around. Go ahead and, for those who are looking around, roll find.
I see 4 walls and a door.
So I'm feeling
16.
watched.
15.
I also am feeling watched. I'm looking to see if I can see.
We shouldn't all look. I will hold. Let me know what you find.
So you see a person staring directly at your group. He's about 6 foot, looks to be extremely fit, clean shaven, with a military style of haircut.
Is he a new prisoner? Or?
Yes, one of the new ones. And you get the feeling that he's looking at your group with familiarity and hatred. When you look,
It's not good.
You see that, the person, but you recognize him as the man who is in the apartment with Donna,
Oh.
the
one-
Mossad asset. And we'll go and end the session right here.
Thank you for joining us on another NCRP Productions podcast. We couldn't do this without you, so please like and subscribe everywhere we're found, including YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Google, Apple, Spotify, and other great podcast sites. If you'd like to help us continue making more content, we'd love to have your support on our Patreon. And we'd like to give a special shout out to our current patrons, our Siegson Employees of the Month, Michael H., Greg K., F.S., and our Breaker of Seals, Frank H., Christopher C., Matthew K. Thank you all. We truly, truly appreciate it. And a very special thanks to our fantastic artist, Jacob Blackmon, who you can reach on his Patreon under his name, or Deviant Art under the name Prodigy Duck.